Nope.
All right. So, uh, welcome to the Joysticks Canada Gamescast. Um, we're recording live on twitch.tv/Joysticks Canada. It is Tuesday, November 24th. If you can't watch live for whatever reason, check us out later on YouTube. Or on podcast services like Spotify, iTunes, Google, whatever there is. We're on all of them, I believe. Today is a very special day. And why is it a very special day? Well, because all the new quote-unquote next-gen consoles are officially out. So, like I wanted to say, we can throw our PS4s and Xbox Ones in the trash, set them ablaze, and reminisce about the games of yesteryear, which really are like there's still games coming out for those systems.
They will forever be a relic sitting on my shelf.
Yeah, mine's already got a thick layer of dust. No, it's. But in all honesty, I thought it might be a fun idea just to chat about our top five games from the last gen, which is officially the PlayStation 4, Xbox One generation. So that's what 2013 to 2020, I guess, officially. Obviously this is going to be our personal opinions. It's not going to be like what's the best game, what's the critically best game. It's just like no, just what your favorite games are, your top five.
Was this in the notes? I didn't get the notes, Dan.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Can you send around the show notes?
I'm gonna seriously stab all of you. It's a terrible inside joke that is making Richard smile like a little girl.
Made me laugh, that's for sure.
Oh my god!
I don't know how many times you pinned it in the thread.
Well, I felt like I had to because everyone keeps asking every goddamn week. Anyways, so I'm.
We're assholes, so like, of course, you pinging it more often.
Yeah, shouldn't have.
Pin.
Just throwing more fuel in the fire.
I should have known. I should have known.
Dan, what channel is the podcast in?
So speaking of assholes, I'm joined by Richard Marginson.
Oh hi, yeah.
Nick Van Vlymen, who's for whatever reason drinking out of the bottle. That's a big bottle, Nick. You should be pouring that into a glass so you can savor it. So is John Tracy. He's drinking his massive beer out of the bottle.
Yes, delicious.
Oh my god! And Mark Nazamanto, who I don't know if he's drinking anything tonight. Are you, Mark?
I just finished a can of St. Ambrose apricot wheat.
Ooh,
wheat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello. That's
It's been
nice.
years since I've had one of those. So
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
did
stuff
grab
nice.
one.
good. Wonky bastard. This is a mint chocolate stout, my friend, from the great brewery of Nickelbrook.
Yeah, we're all fans of Nickelbrook, Great Lakes. Saint Amboise is quite nice too. They got some good
Also
stuff. So I was gonna talk about the news, but there actually kind of really isn't much going on right now.
You could mention what happened to Ubisoft.
Well, yeah, that was kind of crazy. I know it's kind of come and gone at this point, but it was like, in case anyone did miss it, they had a hostage situation, or at least that's what they thought it was. So almost the entire office. It was Ubisoft Montreal, correct?
Montreal,
Yep.
Yeah, and someone called in. I'm assuming at this point, I didn't actually read into what happened recently in it, but apparently someone called in saying there was a hostage situation or something along those lines, and then all the staff made their way to the rooftop, and it was all over the news everywhere. And then it kind of just fizzled when someone said, "Oh, it was just a hoax." I'm like, wait, whoa, what?
Well,
Like that was so.
wasn't it? Yeah, someone swatted them essentially, right?
Yeah, it's basically. But the thing is, I would love to know more about it. Like, why did they get swatted? Was someone just some basement dweller just mad that his Watch Dogs Legion game didn't have as many characters as he thought it was going to, and he just threw a hissy fit and called the cops on the developers.
Wasn't there a Twitch streamer that was very popular that got kicked out of the game? Like, didn't they take him out?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things where
I
There
didn't
was a
know
Twitch
about that.
streamer that was on there, and they decided not to include him in the game. Like they actually removed the character from the game.
Wow.
Wow.
I could almost see that being like some diehard fans or whatever. It's like, oh, go get them,
Yeah.
go swat them or whatever. It's like, okay,
They
sure. I don't
do-
even know what to do.
They do get some pretty crazy followings, but I didn't realize it was going to be that like cultish of a following where they're going to rally around and do that to the guy, like, or do that to a business.
The nerds are restless. Like
The nerds are
Ah,
restless.
true.
They have-
Well,
at
but
this
think about
time-
Cyberpunk, the death threats that Cyberpunk
Oh, yeah.
is getting because
Exactly,
they
right?
hate the game.
That
Like,
was still like
honestly, if they
appalling
out canceled the
behavior,
game
man.
and said, listen, enough of the death threats. We're canceling the game until next year until
Yeah,
you fucking
you-
get your heads on straight.
Yeah, no one gets to play it. How's that sound?
well,
You
that's the
bunch
thing,
of babies.
They have this ridiculous entitlement. It's like make the game yourself if you're if you're
Yeah,
no
right?
kidding. They should. They should just
Can
stoop
you
to
make
their level.
something better? Can you make something better?
Yep.
Try. Just try and see how hard it is.
Yeah, but this proliferates other industries. Think of the movie industry, and Sonic the Hedgehog comes to mind, right? You know, the public gets a rile up of, you know, oh, they hate the character design, and so the studio goes back and rejigs it. Hey, you know what? It actually worked out for the better because I think what they came out with afterwards was actually bang
Right.
on,
Right.
and actually resonated really well. But yeah, people get riled up and people listen and they don't want to instigate and.
Yeah. So there's a fine line between like fandom taking over a product and product like the creators actually creating a product and driving that vision forward, right? So what was it? There was Dark Knight, where the fans actually wrote in and said, "Hey, yeah, the design of Batman's suit actually doesn't allow him to turn his head," and then they wrote that into the script, right? So that small things like that, yes, fans can have a say in it, or like say, "Hey, I'm really passionate about this," but not to the extent where it's going to cause harm to the person's business.
I
Like,
know, it's
come on.
insane.
well, I always said it needed more nipples on that costume. So
Superfluous nipples.
Good old Batman forever.
2 nipples is not enough. We need
not enough.
more.
Not enough. We need at least 8.
Well, I know with Sonic the Hedgehog, that was another one. That movie, that was a huge
Yep.
thing where it was like, I'm really, really glad someone
Oh.
complained because that
Yeah,
movie turned out to be like legitimately good,
Yep. Yeah.
and it
So-
looked laughably shit before. I was like,
Way better than it should have been.
yeah, no kidding. It was like
I would
I'm
agree. We've watched that a bunch of times.
Yep.
It's good. Like they did some really good fan service there.
It's
I'm a huge Sonic fan,
totally.
as
It's like
you
a
can tell.
perfect Sonic movie. It's a perfect Sonic movie in my opinion. Like a live action Sonic. I can't really imagine it being any better than that. And I'm like
Well, Ben-
legitimately excited for the sequel too. Like the little, if I don't know, it's not ruining anything at this point, but it's like seeing Tails right at the end. I was like, oh fucking right! Like that's so cool.
Thanks.
And Ben Schwartz was perfect for Sonic too, as
Oh, yeah.
as a character.
Cool, man. Cool.
Have you guys watched Schwartz in Middleditch? Or
Yes,
Middleditch?
yeah, on Netflix, so good.
Oh my god.
So ridiculous.
So it's 5 improv episodes, and it's just Ben Schwartz and whatever Middleditch
Thomas
forgot his
Middleditch
first name.
from Silicon Valley.
Um,
yeah.
from Silicon Valley.
Tom,
And they're-
yeah, I like
Yeah,
that guy.
They're such incredible improvers.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
really?
hilarious. Oh my god, incredible. So if you have a chance, watch it. It's fun.
Oh,
It's
I will.
really
I'm
good,
gonna
yeah.
put that on my list for tomorrow.
So I have a question.
Yes,
Yes, John.
So
correct.
Sony came out with their new generation system. Yay. Xbox, like Microsoft, they came out with their new generation system. Fantastic.
Yes.
Where's Nintendo in this race?
Nintendo's always behind, but they
Well-
don't give a shit because they make all the money.
This
Right,
they,
like-
they were saying the Switch has been the #1 selling console for 23 months in a row. I think.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
they,
yeah,
they,
yeah.
they don't
For
give
real.
they don't give a shit. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're
They
not
don't
they're
need
not
to,
in this
so.
race anymore. They have kids like from like whatever. They have the kid market completely down locked.
Yeah,
So,
they've
whatever.
got a good chunk of the market. I'm just sitting there going, I wonder when that next system is going to drop.
If they do anything, they're not going to make a new system. They'll just improve on the Switch.
yeah, like they've
um,
done with the 3DS, like and the DS,
exactly.
and like the
They'll make them
millions
more
of-
powerful.
Yeah.
They
They'll make
did.
a more powerful one that will do 4K or something at most. But even then, they're really stingy with their shit. Like, look at the Wii. While all the new systems are going to HDMI and high def, they're like, no, 480i, 480p at most.
yeah.
So
Excite Truck is going to
did-
be 480p.
They did reinvent the Switch, right, with the Switch Lite or whatever that was.
Yeah, but
before.
it's not a Switch at that point. The whole name of the
I
Switch
know.
was the fact that it could go to both TV and move.
Totally.
They should have. I don't know.
Switch
So I'm
Switch
curious
Pro.
if they're gonna
Switch Pro
do-
makes sense. A Switch Pro makes
Yeah.
sense with like
That's what I'm wondering.
Better-
like,
better
are they gonna drop
battery.
Switch Pro
Yeah.
or like a Switch Super
Probably.
or like a Super Switch X. Like,
Maybe. But look at their storage solutions too, right? Like the Switch only has 32 gigs of onboard memory.
Yeah.
And you want to focus
It's-
on downloads and like
HD
digital?
textures and stuff. It's like, oh, forget it.
Exactly. Like I don't know. Nintendo's
They're
They're
running
on-
their own race, man.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
know.
they
They
don't
don't.
do
They
it,
don't
right?
care.
I know.
They
How many
had a-
times
they
can
had
you
a-
buy the same game from them? Really?
They
Like
had a stock dip on the news of a vaccine being like, well developed or well along, right? Like that's the, when your stock price is moving in the marketplace based on the news of a vaccine, you are the marketplace. You know what I mean? Like
the amount of
you are-
people that
they are the bar. It doesn't matter who comes out with new machine. They're the bar.
during the whole pandemic start and when our store finally opened up, the amount of people that were asking for Switches was unreal.
Oh yeah,
I'm
it's
not
bonkers.
surprised, dude. Not surprised. It's the only system that's actually enabling lots of family play. And so it's
Yeah.
I'm seeing more and more demand for it, and so that's why I'm like, is Nintendo thinking about a new console at this point in time? What is their strategy? I'd be
Their
curious.
install base right now is so huge. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They could release anything, and at least it gets to 1080p and whatever could upscale it, right? So they
The
don't
thing
really-
is-
Oh,
'Cause, like-
sorry, go on.
sorry.
No. The only thing that jogged my memory or made me think about it was the fact that, well, Hyrule and Age of Calamity is coming out, and I'm
Yep.
like, oh, wait a sec, that's the newest title that's I've seen kind of this week, and it's on Switch. So they're going, okay, well, why would anyone want that game over the new systems that just dropped in these new titles that are coming out?
You can't get a hold of the new systems.
Or they don't
True.
care. Or they don't care about them.
No.
So about 4 weeks ago, I took my kid down to EB Games. He took his entire Switch collection because he was just frustrated. He was bored. This was before the new consoles came out, and I gave him my Scorpio. And I said, I don't know what these games are going to get you. We're going to go to the store. We're going to find out. I kid you not, 5 games. And I can't list them off my head, but they weren't anything special. Was over $200 for trade-in.
Oh.
Now, at that point in time, they also had some sort of 50% sale towards a trade-in or whatever. And I was just like, I was dumbfounded. And the guy at the counter, he was just like, listen, there's a huge demand for Switch games. There always has been.
Yeah.
Console, like Xbox and PS4, they don't have that same kind of installment base, just like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I was just like, crap, wow, because we wanted a new Pro controller. He had one for the Wii and wanted one for the Switch. And I said he wanted Animal Crossing. And I said, you've got money. You might as well go use it. But he just traded in 4 of his games to the equivalent value of the game plus a Pro controller. And he still brought his old games home to the amount of like a Lego game and some other game. I had no idea that there was so much money in Switch games.
Oh, it's nuts. Like,
Yeah.
if you go to my store and you look at the sections for Xbox and PS4, they're healthy. There's a good amount. You go to Switch, everything's phased out because I have that little of the Switch games. Anytime anything good comes in, it's out the door. Like, I can't hold them.
They get snapped up.
Well, it's like EB.
Well, when
even going to EB and stuff, like they never have used Switch games.
No,
Like
and
they,
which is
it's
weird
almost,
because
it's almost never, and they're so expensive at EB too. They're like $5 less than a new one. I'm like, yo, I'll
$5
take that. I'm like,
difference, which is-
what are you doing?
oh, I have to buy your card to get another like $5 off. Meanwhile, they go to my store, it's already $15 without getting the goddamn card.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Oh, I,
That's what enticed me
Oh,
to,
EB's
to buy any of my like Switch used games through you, Mark, because I'm getting a better price through you than I do anywhere else. Like when I bought Donkey Kong Country Tropics, was it Tropics? Yeah,
Tropical
Uh,
Freeze.
Yep.
Tropic Freeze. that was like, oh, I'm glad I got this now because I was like, I'm not sold on it enough to pay full price for it. I definitely could play it used.
Yep.
It's been pretty fun actually.
Well, it's an $80 game, like, or $90. What is it? Is it
90
$69
bucks,
or
dude.
$79?
90 bucks.
It's 90
$79.
bucks after taxes, right?
So
Yeah.
stupid.
So what? I had mine at what 55 or 59, I think.
Something like that. Can't
Used.
remember.
It's probably
Right,
still
so,
worth
yeah,
that
it's-
much now too.
Oh, it definitely is because if there's no sequel, if there's no sequel, they don't drop prices.
No.
So Mario Odyssey, how long has it been now? 2-3 years?
Yeah.
It's still $80 before taxes. Brand new.
So that was so we brought back Odyssey, we brought back Mario Kart Deluxe,
Yep.
and Mario Kart Deluxe and Odyssey fetched the highest price out of the two
Nice.
out of all the console games. And I
Yep.
laughed at the guy, and he just opened up the case, looked at it. It was good. It didn't look dinged up or anything like that. They're cartridges, right? So there's no risk, really, of
Less
things
risk.
going bad.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the contacts can get worn down, yeah. So he looked at the contacts really quickly and said, you know what, if there's signs of wear there, then obviously the game may or may not be, pristine. But
So, it's interesting that you raised that because 3D All Stars, even in its limited release window, you think would have driven down the price of any of those games or any of the games that were released before. But I guess they're on different platforms. Like,
They are. So, a lot of things don't affect too much, like the price of the older games.
yeah,
If they do, it's very, very tiny. It's nominal. I have an issue though with limited release games like that. Like, why is Nintendo only releasing that game for a limited amount of time?
Because
Doesn't make sense,
Because they
you know?
Doesn't make
because they
sense at all.
can.
Did you not hear my statement about their market cap and their stock price being like they know how to?
They
make
don't
money,
give a
right? Like, they're
shit.
gonna sell the shit out of this,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they're gonna be like in March, whatever, April 1st, whenever
The
that
Disney
last
Vault. The
expires,
Disney Vault. They're gonna have a Nintendo Vault.
It's gonna go in the vault. It is gonna go away, 100%, and it will come back, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's
that's like
not,
the-
it's not gonna be gone.
And
That's like-
every
what is it? Like, if you need the Nintendo, whatever their subscription is now to get a couple exclusive
Online.
games, like
Yeah.
so, if you wanted like Super Mario 35, you needed to have the subscription in order to get that.
the Switch
Yeah.
Online thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Nintendo, what they do really well too, is I'm pretty sure they purposely make limited amount of systems or games for certain things, especially systems.
Yeah.
So every year there's a demand, and it keeps it relevant all the time. When Wii was out, it was the same thing. For like 3 to 5 years, the Wii was sold out constantly.
Oh, it's
Every Christmas,
ridiculous, yeah.
people were going nuts to try to find one.
Yep.
Wii U, of course, it didn't happen that way. But now the Switch, they did the same thing all over again.
yeah, I could say that because the classic systems were pretty hard to catch, like are pretty hard to get when they came out. Like the Nintendo Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic when they were released. I know I was running around like a crazy person trying to get the Super NES, and so when I eventually got one, I was like, "Oh, I'm the happiest person alive!" Right? But yeah, you're right. They have a strategy in play that keeps them quite relevant throughout the years, even though they're not releasing new hardware all the time.
Yep.
Right, like these other systems that are happening every 6 to 7 years.
Mm.
And every time, you'll notice this with Nintendo more than any other company, anytime they release a new system, there's always features either added and taken away.
Oh, yeah.
So look at the Switch Lite, like they call it the Lite, but it shouldn't be called a Switch. That's in my opinion. It doesn't connect to the TV. The whole point of the Switch is that you can switch
switching.
between
Yeah.
the two, right? And the controllers on top of that are stuck on there.
Yeah, man,
Right.
they're stuck.
So, in the whole marketing campaign with the Switch is that they pull out the controllers and they click them back in, and it makes that noise.
It's true, man. It's true.
That's true, eh?
That's the reactionary aspect of Nintendo marketing and milking their install base, right? Because where are they predominant? I mean, like obviously they're predominant everywhere, but if you look at Japan, where their home base is, they're exceedingly successful there. And again, their cultural aspect of limited space makes it advantageous for people to have non-TVs or whatever. You hear different
it's very true.
stories about it. But then you hear about people traveling and commuting, and the reality is you're generally spending your time watching a screen, right?
Yeah.
So it almost made sense to, hey, here's a device that has dedicated controllers already baked in, right? And
Yep.
it's same form factor. It's just a portable device.
That's true. Well, yeah, because when I was in Japan, the biggest systems were 360, PS3, and DS, and everybody had a DS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the portable market over there is
It's
hands
nuts.
down the
Yeah.
wildest one over there, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's bonkers.
I'm
dude.
just surprised they even bothered releasing the Switch Lite here. It just for us, I think, as in North America, it feels more gimmicky. I think in Japan, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. So
I
that does make
don't
me
ever deny the fanboy aspect of collectors in the U.S. and or Canada, right?
But the last portable system that Sony made was the PSP. It could.
Vita.
Vita.
Oh, sorry, PS Vita. Excuse me.
Hmm.
I'm curious when that's going to be replaced, if at all. And I'm wondering if Xbox is ever going to venture in the portable market.
No.
It did well in Japan. Over here, it didn't do as well,
No.
which is a shame because it was actually a good system. They
Phenomenal.
just
Yeah, the
did
Vita
not
was pretty
support
good.
it. It did not support it properly, especially for North America. Once PS4 was out, they focused marketing on that, which I understand because it was make or break.
Yeah.
But they totally just disregarded the Vita here, comparatively. Like,
Speaking of old
Sure.
systems,
Nice segue.
Nice segue.
Killer segue.
why don't we
He's
jump?
got
Why
us
don't,
on a timer.
yeah,
Yeah,
why don't
well-
why don't we jump into this?
So how do you want to do this? You want to go
So-
1-1-1-1?
Round table.
We'll start.
round table.
Yeah, so they don't have to necessarily be numbered. I numbered mine, but they could. A lot of them could probably be interchangeable. But if you want to start from like,
Loser.
if you want to
Start
go from
five?
like 5 to 1, I'll start just because on my window I'm literally the first, then Richard, then Nick, then John, then Mark. If that makes sense to you guys.
Sure.
So yeah, for my, and this is crazy because it's like the entire generation, all PS4 games, all Xbox One games, like multi-platform, exclusive, whatever. But these are honestly just the games that I found that I either played the most or was the most crazy about, or for whatever reason. So yeah, number 5, which is kind of a crazy one, is it's actually Astrobot Rescue Mission for PS4, and this is the PSVR game. I thought that it was absolutely insanely good. I don't know if anyone here has actually played it or not, but it's
Nope.
It's quite literally like a Mario game in VR, and it was absolutely incredible. The entire time I played it, I had a stupid smile on my face. I finished the game. It was a surprisingly long game too. Like, I'd say maybe 15 hours or so.
Wow.
So like for a game like that in VR, and it was like top-notch quality. It's basically like Astro's Playroom, but a ton more of it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But being able to like actually move your head and look behind, barriers and stuff and see secret areas, like behind something, and the only way you could do that is like by looking. I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible. It was, yeah, I've never played anything else like it, and it was by far the best VR thing I've ever played. So yeah, that's me.
All right. So first admission of guilt. I'm going to go through
Uh-oh.
the admissions of guilt in this.
Do you have 5
Episode,
admissions
yeah.
of guilt as well?
I have 5 admissions of guilt. Yeah. Well, let me see here. How many admissions of guilt? do I
So
have?
38.
You know what? I almost have 5 admissions of guilt. Yeah. So first admission of guilt. I never played Uncharted 1, 2, or 3.
Wow.
I played a little
Wow.
bit of 1. I
Number
didn't
2
touch
is so
2,
good. Number
didn't
2
touch
is
3.
so good.
So what I did was I watched YouTube playthroughs of all of those games,
Okay, yeah,
so that when Uncharted 4 came out, I was like, all right, I'm diving in.
sure.
I can.
Uncharted 4 is my number 5 game on this list, and also my biggest regret that I never physically, myself played the first 3 in the series, because without the context of having seen those other 3 playthroughs,
Yeah.
I mean, I never would have touched the game, but it wouldn't have.
You
had
never
this game
would
of-
have tried Uncharted 4, you mean?
No, I wouldn't know. And you know what? If I had, it wouldn't have had the same, emotional impact
True.
as it did having played those or seen those 3 games.
Yeah,
You could-
never played them, man. Never played them. Never
Yeah.
will.
You can buy
Never
the
will.
3-pack on PS4, so you might
I
want to
think
go
I
back. to that.
have the 3-pack for free as part of PS Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
I own them probably. I just haven't played them.
Well, maybe
Don't-
not at the time.
No,
I
that's
think
fine.
at the time, I think they released maybe slightly
Yeah.
around or shortly before Uncharted 4, but then I think they were given away,
'Cause-
years later. I had Uncharted 2 actually, I think as part of a PS Plus thing, or Uncharted 3, one of the two.
Uncharted
Yeah.
3. Uncharted 3 was definitely a gold, like a
'Cause
game with gold or whatever the hell it was called. PS Plus Gold or something.
Just didn't get around to them.
2 is probably the best in the series.
Oh,
so if you
2 is
have a chance-
phenomenal. 2 is absolutely
Cool.
incredible.
Because 2 and 4 are really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 deserves. Yeah,
Nicholas.
It's really funny. I enjoyed playing the Uncharted series. I think I got to number 3, and then I stopped. I had the collection, but I never played The Last of Us. So you want to talk about guilt? I think I missed the bandwagon on that one, and I will eventually pick it up. And in fact, I think we have it, John. I'm not
It's included
sure
on
about that.
PS Plus if you
You haven't have you played either of them? You haven't played either of them,
So-
Nick? No,
Nope.
okay.
No,
The first
Last
the
of Us-
first one is free. The first one's free right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going and kind of building on what Richard said, maybe not for a console-based game, but I have in the past done that with StarCraft, watching all the cinematic trailers for like
Yeah.
the one version of it, and I get immense pleasure out of watching that and getting to the end of it, and I'm like, I didn't have to play the game at all. I got the best of everything. Loved it. Perfect. I will commit 2 hours. And you know what? The cinematic trailers from Blizzard, fabulous. They do.
Oh, they're
And-
yeah,
and
they're
anyway,
nuts.
Yeah.
Come on, like
always.
yeah. You know what? Number 5 for me is a tough one. Gears 4, 5, and I packaged them together because they're aspects of either or that I kind of enjoyed. That like 5 kind of felt like a part 4.5. Like it never truly felt like a dedicated game. And I get what they tried to do with introducing new characters and new gameplay aspects, but it just never felt like a fully good standalone game. Whereas 4 felt really compelling.
Yeah.
But
Well, the fact that they called it Gears 5 and like not Gears of War 5 was kind of weird.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know they dropped the of.
Yeah. Like a
Or
lot of
of
people, a
War.
lot of people were like, "Huh? That's a bit strange." It's like
That's cool.
thinking it's either the end, like the last game of that series, or like it's just kind of like I don't know. I could see that. I
the
could
story was
see
good.
it was good. It was good, but I could like if Gears 5 was the last Gears game, I wouldn't be super upset or anything. I'd be like, "No, it was a good series. It's fine."
This series, Gears in itself, almost feels like it's got a shelf life. At some point in time, the story does have to wrap up. It's kind of like anything natural. They can try to kind of like when they got rid of the locust and everything was all peachy, but then the emulsion that did something to it. It was so super convenient type of thing, and it was a good storytelling element, but it was just like, oh my god, like you're just milking this now. And Halo falls into that same category. It's how many more times can you
Arbiter and all that.
bring out the same old routines without really reinventing something interesting?
when Marcus Phoenix dies, that's when Gears is done.
Yeah, I guess.
Didn't they
But
do
does
that-
he have to
that other-
die?
Didn't they do that other Gears one?
Tactics?
Retribution.
Oh,
Judgment.
Judgment.
Judgment, thank
It
you.
wasn't good.
Yeah, I know it wasn't, but it didn't have Phoenix, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna. That's never going away. That series.
Yeah.
No.
That would be like the apex peak when Marcus Phoenix dies, right?
Sure.
You'd be
They're
like,
gonna-
this
they're-
is the beginning of the end of this series.
But that's why they've introduced his kid. That's why they introduced all of these support characters, so that eventually what will happen in Gears 5, like Phoenix is a much older guy. You know, like how much longer can he keep fighting for? He's already tried to retire. He gets to keep being pulled back into it.
Did you finish 5?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
It was good.
it was good. The
I
ending was good.
genuinely enjoyed it. But I just felt like the storytelling was so quick. And
Yeah, honestly I don't really remember the story all that much from Gears.
no,
They just
like,
they skipped over so much, and it just felt really fast. Like the story was just like a means to get to the next area to kill more things.
all it was the Locust Queen that died is now reborn in this other character. Done.
Which
right?
was
And
cool.
now
That
they've
part
got
was
a-
cool, though. That was cool.
Yeah, they did a good job with it. Don't get me wrong. And the
Yeah.
cinematics and the traversal of the open map, if you
That
want to call
was
it
that was pretty cool. I like
the small sandbox they give you
Yeah.
was interesting, and it was a different mechanic that they hadn't ever introduced to it.
Yeah.
And they kept it small enough that it didn't feel too open like other games on my list.
Yeah,
But
oh, for sure. In a effort to try to not speed things up too much, but John, how about you?
My number 5 is a multi-platformer game called Dead Cells.
Oh, Dead Cells.
I'm a sucker for a 2D side-scrolling platformer. So it's just an interesting concept of a game where you're a revived knight that you're going through, and you're traversing all the different dungeons, you're collecting all of this different gear, fighting off all these different kinds of mobs, and then just kind of getting to the next level, the next level, the next level. So I love the different combinations of weapons that you can do, because it completely changes your strategy, and you need to be able to change up your weapons with every single level that you go to, because you have a different set of mobs that you have to try and get through for each of those. The enemies are fun. They're always changing with every single different like dungeon that you're going through or level that you're going through. And what I really liked is that it's never the same game twice. So if you started up on a Friday, the level changes. It's dynamically generated every single time, similar to like how Diablo randomly generates their dungeons.
Mhm.
So you're getting this. It's always fresh kind of feeling. Never a dull moment. And you always feel like you're progressing, and it's something that's like flashy and new kind of all the time.
The
my number
art style is really cool in that too.
Oh, amazing art style.
Like for
That's
pixel
so
art, like for
good.
2D pixel art, it's like it still manages to have its own very unique art style.
And very challenging too.
Oh fuck yeah! Tell me about it.
Unforgiving at times.
It didn't turn me away from it, but it was definitely something that got me to stop playing. It was hard. It was really hard.
But I'll tell you, the difference between playing on a keyboard versus playing on a controller, night and day, man. You gotta play it on a controller.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
How about you, Mark?
This one's weird because it's more, not even weird. I'm a huge Sonic fan, so I went with Sonic Mania.
Nice.
Nice.
yeah.
Good choice, man.
It was so good. It was just what Sonic should always be. It was fast. It was beautiful. It had lots of gameplay. Then they added extra characters. Everything felt right. It felt like a proper Sonic game. The music, all of that was just dead on. So, and I platinumed the shit out of that game.
Nice.
So, I had to get every single blue sphere.
Oh, it's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
You gotta
That's
get all
that's
the
still the
trophies, man.
best. That's in my opinion, it's still the most fun like warp zone. Like the
Oh,
the
yeah, the
bonus
bonus
the bonus
stages?
stages or whatever. That's
Yeah.
still the best one. The music is like I can hear it in my head right now, and the goddamn noise like going back and doing hitting the goddamn balls. I'm
And
like
if
it's
you have-
frustrating, but it's so fun. I can just hear it right now.
That is such a game where you need a TV that does not have any or very
Oh,
little
yeah.
lag. You don't have that, you're screwed in that game, especially for the bonus stages. And it's too bad that they don't have like some type of latency configuration,
Yeah.
because that would probably work to help with those 3D stages. But
Well, that Commodore 64 monitor that you have, that would be like the perfect monitor, I think, to play that game.
if only it had HDMI.
Ah.
Only.
So yeah, my number 4 was it's obviously it's kind of like a big AAA game, but whatever. I have sunk I don't even know how many, probably over 150 hours. It's Forza Horizon 4 for Xbox One. The reason I didn't do Forza Horizon 3 was Forza Horizon 3, like the expansions for that game were amazing. Forza Horizon 4, I still haven't even played the expansions for it, and I've spent so much goddamn time playing this game, and it's just pure bliss every moment that I'm playing it. Yeah. I don't even really need to talk too much about this game. I think everyone's either played it or seen it or heard about it or done something with it. It's insanely good.
Gotta play through it, man.
Even if you're not like a massive driving guy, like you don't like Assetto Corsa or like iRacing or Gran Turismo, it's like you don't even have to be a massive. If you like Burnout Paradise, it's like play Forza Horizon 4. It's like the next best thing.
Said my favorite game title for PS4, or like the one that I'm looking forward to the most in terms of driving, Gran Turismo for PS5, man.
Okay. One of those driving guys. That's what Mike says. But yeah, Forza Horizon 4, just insane. Love it. It's you, Richard.
Yeah, this one doesn't have a guilty admission other than it took me 6 months to fucking play it. But anyway, and I finished it today.
Nice.
Whoa!
Congratulations!
Wow.
So maybe that's my guilty admission for this game. Well, make it work that way. The Last of Us Part 2. Now, Nick, you said you haven't played it. It is a relatively fresh game. I will not spoil it.
You know what? I am the one person that cares the least amount of being spoiled for things.
I know, actually, that's true.
It doesn't ruin things for me.
Yeah.
Movies, shows, games. The more information I have, the more I look forward to it, because then I kind of have a pre-understanding of what comes next, and I can kind of focus on the gritty details that tend to get lost when you don't know much about the storyline.
Let me tell you about some grittiness, because this game is all grit. This game is like 150% grit. And I think, Mark, you're the only person who's finished this game as well. Dan, you're still working on this game.
Me?
Yeah.
The ending's brutal.
I'm halfway through. I'm literally half. I haven't abandoned it. I'm halfway through. I'm waiting for it to be optimized for PS5, and it hasn't been yet. It will be. It will be. Maybe. They're saying, but it hasn't been yet. So I'm like, I can wait. I can honestly just wait until it's optimized.
I obviously did. I'd say I did 85% of this game on a PS4, and then the last 10-15% on a PS5. It looks good, but it plays exactly the same. They haven't done anything to it.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal continuation of a story, right?
Yep.
And to build upon a story like The Last of Us in this way, it takes skill. Like there's an art there that the Naughty Dog team has. That it's no surprise I have 2 Naughty Dog games. I mean, it is a bit of maybe a bit of a surprise, but I have 2 Naughty Dog
number
games.
5 and number 4.
Yeah, it is number 5 and 4, and there are no more Naughty Dog games after this. But
they're all Naughty Dog games.
It's phenomenal, and it made its way onto the list.
Yep. For me, and before I do this, I got to do a shout out to Twinkie, who may or may not be watching this stream. Yeah, there you go. Number 4 for me is Red Dead 2.
Nice.
And this one was a hard one to place, because I think I've maybe only put in about 15 hours into the game before I fully abandoned it. And it's kind of a going joke about how good this game looks from a visual fidelity standpoint, that it's so good, and they've done so much to make this game immersive. But fuck, unless you are doing something in the game, it is boring as shit. It's pretty. It's great for screenshots. It's one of those games that if they were to ever do like an upgrade for HDR and all of these other fancy things, the screenshots and the crap that they would get out of this game.
Well, it'd just be real. It would just be is that a real picture or not?
Insane. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't play the game. It was so boring. I think I got stuck in a spot where I was in a cavern. I went off the beaten trail. I saw a guy screaming for help. I chased down the guy that was beating him. I killed him, dragged him with my horse, did something severe like throw him in the river, watched an alligator eat him. Maybe burned him alive or something silly like that. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at the map and I said, oh shit, I got to go from here to here. And my next closest fast jump was not even remotely close. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I can't anymore. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I said, "Oh, there's a little settlement over there," and I walked over there, and it was full of hostiles. I died, and I said, "Done."
Delete.
Beautiful game.
Delete.
Beautiful
Uninstall.
game. The storytelling on these games, like the opening sequences, trudging through the snow.
Oh my god, it's unbelievable.
Like the story building that Rockstar has done to these games is absolutely hands down phenomenal. Building on the success of GTA 5 and 6, or I guess just 5, 6 is sometime in the future. But even the online component, never played the online component. I think we played online for the original Red Dead. And it was fun. It was good. It was kind of like, like you're part of a gang, you could do heists and whatever. But I mean, like, it was just kind of like there was no purpose for it.
Yeah.
Never played the online, and it's not as successful as GTA Online, from what I understand it. But yeah, that's my 4. Sorry.
That's hilarious.
I have to agree with all that stuff.
It's like my number 4 pick. Hated it. I'm joking. It's like
I didn't.
No, like everything you said is like, no, that all makes sense, because it was like to me it was exactly the same thing. I got to a certain point and I was like, why is it still taking me 25 seconds to skin a fox? I'm like, and then because at the same time I was starting to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I would literally hit R2 or whatever on my controller, fox's skin, done, instant.
Yeah.
I'm like, there we go. That's what a video game is. Like, I don't need the first 1 or 2 times when you skin a fox and you see all the detail. Like, that's really fucking cool. And then okay, from now on, I would just like to hit a button. It's like, nope, you gotta watch it every time, asshole. I'm like, I don't want this. This is so boring.
It is a testament, though, to Rockstar, right? Like, so Red Dead was it's now my number 2 all-time favorite game.
Oh, it's incredible.
So when Red Dead 2 came out, I was like, all right, I'm fucking ready. Same thing. I've abandoned it for the most part. I will come back to it eventually. But it's a testament to Rockstar and their commitment to their craft that they haven't patched in like a speed mode or something. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, just fucking fast travel anywhere you want, turn off your skinning animations, like turn off your, like, they could very easily do that for people, right? And in the hope that they'll get through and see the story, which I am sure is phenomenal, but they're committed to the whole package, right? You are a cowboy. This is how long it's going to take. Like, there's a method to this process, and you're going to fucking go through it because you're a fucking cowboy.
Well, that's what they were saying. It's like, it's a cowboy simulator is what, like, I heard it pitched as a bunch. I'm like, it's literally like, it's a hardcore, like, cowboy simulator.
If I ever think of what Westworld would be like as a video game, it would be like Red Dead.
Well, I hope it would be more fun, though.
Okay, well, maybe, but there's still no fast travel, and
true.
To get from A to B still takes quite a long time.
Yeah.
If they were to have made that map like 25% smaller, and I get it, every generation says it's a critique about map size. And Cyberpunk suffers from the same ordeal. People complain, people want this, and there's a compromise, but they've realized that for as much as the bigger map is great and it shows the versatility of, how you can build that landscape in that atmosphere, bigger is not always better.
No, exactly. Who's next? John, number 4.
Number 4. A lovely little game made by Panic Button Games, Rocket League.
Oh, Rocket League, baby! It's a good one.
Combining my 2 favorite things, cars and soccer. Can't go wrong. The tutorial was a hell of a lot of fun to play through. You actually get to learn how to jettison your car across a field and score a couple goals. The flying cars themselves, being able to score while you're in the air, so much fun. So much fun. The number of LAN parties that we played that game at was even better. Like, I swear to God, everyone had the game. It was free for a certain period of time.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus. I think it was their first free game or something. One of the first after Resogun. I think it was like one of the first free games was Rocket League.
And since it was
Done.
so accessible to
So
everyone, and it was
good,
so easy
so
to play,
good.
it makes it so much fun. Your ability to just bash the crap out of other cars, blow them up after you've been turboing around the map, it just adds to that excitement, adds to that joy, puts a freaking smile on my face. That's for sure.
Well, it's a testament, man. The game's still going strong now.
Oh
Yeah.
well, that's the thing,
And it's
right?
what? It's like 6 years old or something stupid now. It's like, what the
Except
fuck? It's still
for-
totally. They haven't really changed the fundamentals of the game. It's like, and it's still
They
just as
changed
popular.
the
now.
shop and a bunch of the things that you can
Well, the
buy.
cosmetic
I still have my
stuff,
DeLorean
sure.
package.
Yeah,
I
but
still
it's-
have my kit package.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can't buy those cars anymore unless you pay a certain amount of money, and
Yeah.
even their loot system is completely overdone as well.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to customize your cars, the look of get new models, add new friggin' like turbo boost trails. Like it just
Yeah.
it adds to the fun of the game. So it's so easily accessible to everyone, and the fact that it's multiplayer online, multiplayer couch co-op,
Well,
even
it's
better,
cross platform as well now,
it's a,
which is bonkers.
and to this
I love any
day,
game that
like
does
you're
that.
saying, they're just adding on more to it. So the latest update, they added in all the different seasons that you can actually play a part of now. So you can actually get ranked in part of these matches that are online with each of those seasons, and then you get the accolades of being able to say I'm fucking Rocket League Pro, man. It's good. Good. Love it. We'll play it again.
So
yeah.
that's my number 2 game. So when we get up there, we'll
Nice.
talk about it again.
Yes.
But it's I'm on board with literally everything you just said. That game was phenomenal.
What would you
It
add?
was so solid. It was so rock solid.
So the only thing that put that above 4 for me, like I literally just finished Last of Us today, right? So I can't put it much higher on my list, and the game in between, you'll hear about it soon. But I guess the thing for me was more like this game. You mentioned like LAN parties, like its entire success is built on the fact that everybody had this game.
Everybody.
Everybody
And
had this game. There was no barrier to entry, and as soon as you remove that barrier to entry, it's like open season on a good video game, right? And this was a good video game.
Spread like
This had
wild-
all the loops and the dopamine hits of like, and then all the frustration of like, oh my god, I can't believe they scored at the last second, did the fucking triple flip loop,
Yeah.
but play it again.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
but then
I
you're
had
like, we can do it. We can do it this time, though. Yeah.
so many nights, right? So many nights of like, one more match, one more match.
I have
guys.
rage quit more times playing this game. Like, hands down, I've
Easily,
never
easily.
rage quit more often. And I tried playing competitively a couple of months back, and I managed to get it to like level 3 competitive or whatever. And these guys just
Call me up. I would have just jumped in.
like Aiden would bring his Switch down, so we'd play crossplay, and
Oh,
he'd sit on
nice,
the couch,
that's
I'd be
cool.
on the TV, and he would be okay, and we would kind of go back and forth, and we like doing the Halloween events. They were fun.
Yeah,
They had
yeah,
some
yeah.
pretty good ones.
The
That
season.
they had the
I totally forgot about those. Yeah, they're another big component of the game. Is all these different.
the spike mods
Seasonal
and stuff like
events.
that. And honestly, there's this one time this one guy drove up the side of the map, had the ball spiked on him, drove on the ceiling of the map, dropped down, did like some sort of flip, knocked the ball off his spikes, and scored and won the game on that one. And honestly, I put my controller down because I wanted to throw it. And I was just like, we're done playing this. I really don't care anymore.
Yeah,
You're just
great.
envious, Nick. That's all.
it's so good.
Oh, I totally am. I totally am.
It's like,
my
oh,
timing
I'm sorry.
on being
I am
able to
envious.
boost, jump, and hit the ball is absolutely absurdly bad.
Oh, I
Like,
can't. I can't do that either. I can't do that.
I have mastered that shit. Oh,
I'm not bad at
I
that
love
game, but I'm definitely not good at it.
We should play some more Rocket League, is what I'm hearing.
I'd
Yes.
be down.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
that's the consensus of this entire episode is
Yeah.
Rocket League. Rocket League's good.
And-
It's
and-
Rocket League is
I've already
good.
got Pimp's already kind of lined up for that. Okay.
Oh, nice. We got to do it.
Oh, MVP. Yeah, let's do it.
We got to do it. All right, Mark.
Again, I'm going to something that was released ages ago, and then they remade it.
It's totally
Um,
fine. Totally acceptable.
Doom, 2016 Doom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This game was fun. It felt like a natural progression for the time. So it felt like the old game.
Mm-hmm.
You just taking up mass hordes of enemies. Maybe not runefuls as much as it was in like Doom 1 or 2, but it's pretty damn close. And then all the modifications and the graphics, it just felt right. Like it felt like Doom again.
So I played that for
So-
PC, man, and
Yeah.
the puzzles in it were pretty fantastic. Like there was one level where you have to climb one of the pillars, and then you have to jump out and get the perfect timing, right?
Yep.
That thing frustrated the hell out of me. I was playing on PC, and I was like, this would be so much easier on console if I could just time this out, right?
Platforming, yeah.
But yeah. But this is, dude, great choice.
It was simple. It was good. That's all I could say. It was just a really good remake. Doom Eternal just made everything even crazier.
Oh yeah.
I love Doom
Right.
Eternal. I finished it. I went back and I did a whole another cycle to get like a bunch of the different add-ons that you get through.
Wow.
But dude, nothing's more satisfying than using your chainsaw to hack down enemies, regardless of what generation of Doom you're in. Man, it's just so
or even just ripping them apart. Like the fact that
rip and tear, rip and tear.
the only way you could get your energy back was by ripping these guys apart.
Yeah, I still love that.
It was nuts. It was brutality with a reason behind it, but at the same time, not.
I do find
I love Eternal, but-
everyone keeps talking about Eternal, but I do believe like the 2016 one was still like more important.
I think it was a
like,
better game overall.
Yeah,
but
overall because it
Eternal
was like
really fun.
The
yeah,
last-
Eternal was fun as hell, but the 2016 one was just like a bigger, like a better game. I think overall it was just insane.
Overall,
Yeah, the last boss fight in 2016 I thought was better than the one that was in Doom Eternal.
fair enough. So, yep, that's it.
Nice. So my pick for number 3 is a bit of a funny one. I don't know. I don't think very many people played it, which is one of the big problems. It's Titanfall 2.
Great game.
So
Short, but it was great.
if you haven't played the single player campaign for Titanfall 2, it's literally one of the best single player first person shooter like campaigns you'll ever play in your life. And that's not me saying that. It is me saying that, but it's also a shitload of other people saying the same thing. It's absolutely phenomenal. Like the level design, I think even Mike, who was like, I was trying to get Mike to play Titanfall 2 for the longest time, and he's like, whatever. I'm like, it's $4 at the bloody dollar store. I'll buy it for you. I don't care. Here it is. Here's the game. Play it. And he finally played it recently. He's like, okay, it's pretty good. I'm like, yes, it is fucking pretty good. I told you.
I think that was
It's
the most tragic part
incredible.
about that
It's
game.
incredible. That's the
Even
thing.
in
No
the-
one played it. You know what? It came out the same week as Battlefield 1 did.
So
EA released Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1 the same week. And Battlefield 1 has a stupidly huge audience. Titanfall has not an audience.
Well,
So it
considering-
got absolutely buried by everything else that was getting released. So
That was
Yeah.
the problem, right? The
Yeah.
Xbox One had the first one, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's not the platform.
and it was
that's not the
online
platform.
only.
Yeah.
Titanfall 1
Yeah.
was online only.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, Titanfall 2, what the fuck is this? I want to play Battlefield.
Although-
Titanfall 2 doesn't even have a single player game. I'm like, no, it does, and it's phenomenal.
And in fairness, the single player in Battlefield 1 was also fantastic.
It was good. It
So
was.
that-
This isn't poo-pooing Battlefield 1 at all. That was a really good game.
If you were in the market for a single player game, it was difficult to argue with somebody who's like, but also like, Battlefield 1.
And they're
My only
so
argument-
different. It's like, how can you if you ask me which one would you rather play, I'm like, it's not that easy. It's like, personally, well, it's Titanfall 2, but like, and that's purely just because there's so many different Battlefield games. I'm like, I can play those anytime. Titanfall 2 is like such a special game. Like I swear to God, if people haven't played the single player, you have to play it. I 100% guarantee you'll go nuts for it. It's so good.
It was free on PS Plus at some point. I definitely have it on there.
Yeah.
It's been free on. I swear to God, like EA is gonna start paying people to take it at this point. Like, please fucking play it. It's so goddamn good. Just play it, so we can make
Not to
another one.
complain about- not to complain about the game, but the campaign was great, but it was very short. Like,
Oh, it was
6 to 8
short.
hours.
Yeah, it was definitely short, but it was short and sweet. Like it was pure. The whole time was like I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
That's
That's
true.
like a drop in the bucket in comparison to Red Dead 2.
That's you're in the snow for 8 hours in Red Dead 2 before you see the starting credits, I think.
Before you see the title.
Fucking
You're like,
game, man. Oh my god. How about you, Richard? Number 3? I'm dying to know. We're all dying to know.
European mission. So I did impose some restrictions on this for myself.
Not a Naughty Dog game. That's the first
It's not a
restriction.
Naughty
Okay.
I had to have finished the games that I put on this list.
Oh,
Except for
okay,
Rocket
yeah,
League.
sure.
You can't finish a Rocket League, but so like you're not going to hear about the other big temple games for PS4. I haven't finished them yet.
That's fair enough.
What I did finish, but on PC, but it's available multi-platform.
That's fine. No, that's fine. It's fine.
Is Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Ooh, nice.
Let me talk to you
Yeah,
about.
that's a good game.
Only one I haven't played, man. That's the only one in the whole series I
It's
haven't
good.
played.
It is good. It is good.
So good.
Okay, if you look at so there are two different timelines.
That's
for
like a
Assassin's Creed, right?
2013 game. That's like launch day. That's a launch
launch.
game.
Launch.
That's a very first day launch
I
game.
checked. So here's what you need to know about Assassin's Creed, right? So you got one which I played and I liked, but a lot of people didn't. 2 phenomenal. Brotherhood, fine, fantastic.
Brotherhood was
the
incredible.
one I can't remember what it was. The end of Ezio's story, also great. Then 3, which it was a video game. And then they made a choice, right? So in the dark world, they could have been like, but also what if more Assassin's Creed like that, like 3? But in this new world, they're like, but what if who fucking cares about the Animus shit? And they went that way, thank God, right? Because Black Flag was literally this way, and it was you don't need to have played any other Assassin's Creed game to like this. Even though I had, the modern day story was wrapped up for all intents and purposes from Revelations, right? And this game was
that's
just
right.
like a whole different thing with the modern world stuff. But you could, I think, aside from maybe one segment, you could stay in the Animus for the entire time. You didn't need to come out.
I didn't even know that until now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds
Like one
amazing.
or two segments where you could literally do the thing and then jump right back in, right? You didn't have to explore the world. You didn't have to do the stuff. And I'll say one more thing about it. To this day, I still have, I guess, like personal recordings of the sea shanties from that game that I will occasionally, like, at least when I had Google Play, I used to load it up because you could like sideload
That's
music.
hilarious. Yeah.
I haven't done it recently because I switched, but that game, just atmosphere, graphics were phenomenal, right? This was again on PC, but I think they've since come out and maybe remastered it. I'm not sure, but I've been tempted to even go back.
Ubisoft does tend to, at least fix bugs and make things, not break. And
Well,
Black Flag had
PS-
some hilarious bugs.
Oh, they had some great ones, yeah.
So, but yeah, the sea shanty thing. I remember, like, now you're talking about that because I've been playing Valhalla quite a bit, and that like the songs that they sing are like, fuck, I want to kill myself, man. These are horrible songs. They're like fucking dreary as shit. It's not happy. It's just like, oh, like, oh, fuck this.
Odyssey, right? Like the
That's
Odyssey
the thing.
songs is
Black Flag though was like, like everyone's happy, everyone was like having a good time. Like, this is so much fun. Valhalla's like, oh, we're all gonna die. I'm like, oh, this is really depressing.
Yeah.
Nicholas, number 3.
All right, number 3 is a toss up between Fallout 4 and The Witcher 3, but I'm going to give it to The Witcher 3. Fallout 4, and I think we were talking about this one other time, I didn't play the game properly. And like another one of our mutual friends, I just played the map sequentially, and I'm just going to move my hand back and forth to the point where I get down to the bottom and I have to make a decision on entering this city. And I'm like, it's like that segment of the game where they're forcing you into the other half of the map.
Are you done everything here? Are you
done?
done?
I was so OP. My base was built. I had cleared everything. I had done missions to the point at which, like I would go to a place and take a mission, and I would immediately be able to say I've already done that. Like it didn't make any more sense. And I just said, oh, forget it. The Witcher 3, on the other hand, now I didn't play that on a console. I played it on PC, and
That's fine. Yeah.
I gotta say, it just like with Gwent,
Mhm.
that game was great, and it gave me something more to do in the game than just go and slaughter stuff. And riding on Roach and doing all sorts of stupid things that horse would allow you to do, it was great. And graphically, it was a good game. I really enjoyed playing it.
It was
so
it
much
was
so that
very nice looking.
I picked it up for the new consoles because I know that CD Projekt Red is going to do an overhaul
sure.
in order to. So
sure.
I've never finished the game, but I am really eager to await to see what they're going to do in order to kind of visually enhance that game.
Gotta get that hair effect, man.
Oh, hey man, but
Girls
that first
flowing
scene
locks.
in the hot tub,
Oh
And-
yeah, there we go. Sexy time.
you know. Yeah, hey, listen, yeah, there's a lot about this game that I'm really eager about, but I'm going to give that number 3 for sure.
Nice.
Nice.
How about you, John?
Number 3 for me, we've already talked about it. It's Gears 5. So just
Nice.
some recap moments. I like the combination of new and old players that kind of came together. I really enjoyed having the opportunity to play as Jack, right? The AI character.
That
where you
was
get to go
so
from
cool.
God,
That was very, very cool. He was a neat addition to the whole franchise, right? Like that was.
It was
that
great,
was-
man.
And it worked
Uh,
really well. It worked super well.
Seamless, man. Seamless. And you had to actually have to use him for certain puzzles and to unlock certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the new weapons, so like the cryo cannon and the Lance GL
Mm.
and all the multiplayer, right? So 'cause that's what that game is to me, right? If I get to play horde mode, if I get to play
Horde mode.
multiplayer like PvP, done. I can totally own that shit. So key moments in that game that I really enjoyed. So if you haven't beat Gears 5, spoilers alert.
Weep,
No.
weep, weep.
The swarm.
Where's your soundboard, man? Like seriously, you need a soundboard.
I know. I need a
We talked about the
soundboard.
soundboard before.
We talked about the soundboard.
Spoilers.
Once we make 50 cents from this, then I'll buy a soundboard.
So the Swarm Kraken as the end boss was
Oh,
just
it's so cool.
friggin' insane.
So
and
cool.
seeing how,
Crushing
Jack-
that elevator that you're in, or not the elevator, but like the staircase and stuff. Oh yeah. Sorry, go on.
and then swallowing Jack, and then Jack using the hammer to nuke that guy, fucking crazy. And then when he had to make the decision about whether Dell or JD dies, was like another like key moment where you're like, I'm emotionally attached to both of these characters. Which one I'm going to choose? So that was pretty fun. And it's an exclusive title, so you know that it's gonna be good when it's one of those exclusive titles.
First
number-
party games. Yeah, first party games. I find no matter what platform it's on, any platform, they're always at least solid.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I find they're always at least solid, or at least they will be over time. Like Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves was really rough when it first came out, but now it's like, it's got an insane community for that game, and it's like,
What's Halo 4's excuse?
let's continue. Hey, Mark, what's your number 3 pick?
There it is. Halo 4.
Yeah,
Halo 4.
my number 3 is Halo
Um,
4. I loved it.
No, Spider-Man on PS4.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Sure.
Good choice.
It was so much fun. It was probably the best Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2.
So much fucking fun to play that game. Oh my god.
Exactly. Storyline was fantastic because they had it their own. They kept things similar, but they still had their own universe that they were able to work with and
Yeah.
just bring their own story to it. Which
I do like how it was its own kind of sandbox.
some of the missions were a little tedious, like catching pigeons and shit. But
Yep.
overall, it was a fantastic game. It was beautiful. It played well. Made you feel like Spidey. Like the fact that you could just like free dive,
Oh,
do some spins.
the
and then
animations,
just
the little,
look
the little
around.
touches, the little animation touches and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, it just felt
And-
like so. Yeah.
Insomniac Games is perfect for that. They're one of my favorite developers because of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
It's just like Naughty Dog. Those guys are head and head like together. I think
Even Sucker
They
Punch
know how
is
to-
up there.
exactly. And they're all these first party publishers for Sony, and I guess they work together a lot too. So
Yep.
I think it shows with Spider-Man. Like they got the franchise right.
Yep.
All the different suits were so much fun to play with.
Those are
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta say that was my favorite part about unlocking. Like, I played that game like I play any of my open world games. I basically do all the like, little, climb this thing, scan the area, whatever, unlock all the different suits and crap like that. Forget about the story and crap.
99% done the game before you start the first mission.
Yeah.
You know what? I had the entire city done before I even opened up the first.
You've unlocked the entire city, and like, okay, let's do the story mode.
That's how I play Crackdown, man. That's the only
Actually,
way
that's
to
how I
play
play
Crackdown.
That's how I played Crackdown 3. Yeah.
Only way, man.
Yeah. Sorry. No, that's a super solid game though. I
it was
still
so
need to
much
get.
fun.
I'm waiting to get back into it. I'm definitely gonna to cave eventually. Now that Cyberpunk's out so soon, and I'm still playing Ghost of Tsushima and all that shit. But
15
like,
days.
I'm
15
buying. I am
days.
gonna get the
Yep.
Miles Morales and the Miles Morales. Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Miles Morales, yep.
And
You're
the
not- are you
and the
gonna do the
remastered.
remastered?
Yeah, that's what
It's
I'm
so
gonna
good.
do. Is that what Richard's showing right there?
I'm
The
like
Ultimate
60%
Edition.
done Miles.
I
wanna
haven't
do
touched
that.
I haven't touched that. I want to finish the original. I got like 80% of the way through, and I got the last little bit to finish up.
So
Yeah,
they still don't have a solution for porting your save file.
Nope.
What are you talking about? They do.
Nope.
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 If you buy, if
For
you played
Spider-Man?
if you played Spider-Man on PS4, and you want to transfer that save to the remastered version of Spider-Man on PS5, no bueno.
That's what Miles would say.
That's a big loss. Like,
But John-
honestly,
So stupid.
I would go and skip that completely and just finish it on the PS4
Yeah.
and
Wait,
just call
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They
That's
have
the
like a little vignette. You can be like, what happened? Like, do you want to see like what's happened previously on Spider-Man? I think it
to play
literally
Miles
says
Morales. You mean?
Yeah, for Miles Morales.
See, that's the thing. I'm
Yeah.
on the fence of just getting Miles Morales and saying fuck it to the original Spider-Man game.
I think we could probably do that. And
I gotta
That's
finish
what I
the
did.
original. I don't know. I
well, in
love-
your case,
I barely
John,
clocked
like,
any time
you're-
in the original. That's the thing. Like, I feel like I'm missing out like a big time.
It's
I'm like
fantastic.
80%. So
yeah.
I'll play for the rest
80%?
40% of that game.
Oh
and then
fuck
get through
that! Yeah,
Oh,
just play it
John,
on
There's
PS4,
no
dude.
restart it. Like,
You
just
have to
play
finish it.
your PS4 version, buy Miles Morales separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done and done.
Finish it. It's so good. The last, the ending is.
No spoilers.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
They-
I'm
they
just-
meet up with-
Spider-Man.
he meets up
Spider-Man
with
dies.
Batman.
He dies at the end.
And
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that.
He dies. He's dead.
No
Spider-Man's
spoilers,
dead.
but he dies.
That was
okay, so
That was
number
all right.
two-
So one of our mutual friends told me the way that Far Cry
It's like,
5
come on, you
ends
fuckers.
before I had finished Far Cry 5, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?
Was
Are
that
you kidding
Trav?
me?" No. This is a
Me?
different friend altogether. No, not you.
Dox him. Go
Far
do
Cry
it.
No,
5 was
I
fucking-
can't say the name because I don't want to shame him.
It's okay.
That's all-
My number two we've already talked about. Rocket League. I'm good.
Oh wait, I haven't done my number 2, have I?
Oh, wasn't that your number two? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it was
that's my
no,
number 3.
Mark.
your
Oh
number
yes,
three,
wait,
right?
yeah. So Mark's number 3 was Spider-Man PS4, and then
Sorry.
my number. No, it's totally fine. My number 2. Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yep.
Sorry, I was lost for a second. My number 2 actually is, I think, the most recent game on my list, which is Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Nice. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fucking incredible. I haven't
I've heard that game is.
I really
unreal.
want to
it's
put that on my
Beautiful.
list.
it's
I really wanted to
beautiful
put that on my list,
It's
but I couldn't. There was too many other games that I was like,
no, it's totally. I
so-
totally get it. I totally
You
get it.
should
But
do
it's
it,
like
You
this
should drop
game
everything and
was.
play it.
No,
it's-
dude, I've got it, and I'm just like, it's a fantastic game, man. Every part that I've played so far has been beautiful.
Dude, it's easily the best looking 2D game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, man.
And the story is like legitimately incredible. I don't think there's actually any dialogue.
Nope.
Almost at all. There's a tiny bit here and there, but it's so minimal.
Well,
It's
like,
just
when you
looking
talk
at the
with,
animations. Well, it's just looking at the animations of the characters' eyes and like seeing what they're doing. I'm like, holy shit, man! This is like a fucking top tier, like big budget box office movie that they managed to cram into a 2D side-scrolling adventure game. I'm like, this is fucking mind blowing.
like the only dialogue that you actually see is when you experience one of the dark ones, whatever they are, like those their dark spirits. When you're a light spirit that comes in and they're like, oh, hey, like there's an item over here, or there's this story that I got to tell you about this enemy over there. That's about as much dialogue as you get in this whole game. And it's like, it doesn't take away from it. It adds little bits to it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was absolutely incredible. Like, I liked the first game. I don't think I ever finished the first game, which I feel bad for now, but like...
Didn't play the first one.
The first one was very cool, but it was just one of those things. There was so many other games out. But when I started playing the second one, which this technically is number 2, it was one of those games where it was like when I got home from work, it was like all I fucking wanted to do was keep playing it, and like that doesn't happen very often at all. It's like for a game to be that fucking good, where I'm like I cannot wait to get downstairs, like just to play this, not to just like. Oh, I just want to go play some games. Like, no, I want to play this one fucking game because it's so good. It's like
I played that game in the middle of the workday. Well, not the workday, but like lunch hour. Because it came out in March, right? Like pretty much right around when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was home and I was just booting it up. I think actually you had messaged me at some point when I was playing it. You're just like, Ori at lunchtime, eh?
You're like, shut up, shut up,
shut up. So I was alternating between like Animal Crossing and Ori for that basically that whole month.
That is Ghost of Tsushima for me right now. I cannot drop that game at all. Like I
cannot quit you, Ghost.
At lunch, I'm looking forward to it. Like in the morning, I'm looking forward to it as soon as I'm done work.
Yeah.
What? One last quick thing about Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It's a little bit of a mouthful. If anyone hasn't played it, it actually does have a like an Xbox Series X upgrade or whatever, like a legitimate enhanced 4 thing. So if you haven't played it, or if you continue to plan on continuing to play it, words are good, then John, it's worth checking that out now.
But hang on a sec, because John, you said you haven't played it?
No, the first one I didn't play.
No,
this one I have played, and I'm about 50% of the way through.
So I'm playing it on your Series X?
I'm gonna switch it to my Series X. And
do that. Definitely do that.
With your CX TV and a 2.1 enabled input, you're playing that shit at 120.
Yeah, man.
Oh, nice. I can't wait. I can't imagine playing that game at 120.
I can't imagine playing this game at 120.
No. Ah! I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go get a new TV.
I'm blowing in every single direction.
I'm so jealous. So my problem now is the muscle memory. Like I've lost it. I haven't touched it since whatever April or something.
Dude, it'll take a minute.
Really?
Yes, it's an exceptionally accessible game. It's very.
You underestimate how old I am and how poor my reaction times are.
You're younger than I am, so that's no excuse.
As Mark yawns over here.
Ever since Demon's Souls and Ghost of Tsushima have like taken over my gaming experience, like I'm not playing. I'm not touching anything else until I'm finished.
Ghost is one of those games that I have a very difficult time. Like if I switch to something else, my muscle memory, on being able to those combos and being able to dodge and roll out of the way, it's out the window. Like the minute I put that game down for any length of time, I might as well be. I'm done. I got to be done.
Anyway, my number 2 is Rocket League. So go ahead, Nick.
I fought over this one because the 2 and 1 are for me really, really close. But I had to give GTA 5.
Hey, nice. No, nothing
Mike
against
and
that.
I knew it was coming up in this.
Someone had to have that. I was like, do I include that? Do I?
I have.
Every single announcement for PS5 has been about GTA 5, so it's like, fuck off, man. All right, sorry, continue, Nick.
I have played the shit out of that game, and I don't think there is a single game that had made me more anxious to get my hands on that game than another GTA. And I
Fun,
have
man.
all of the GTAs. I've got it for PS4. I've got it for PS5. I've traded it in for a digital edition so I can get the Megalodon cards because I wanted more VIP. When GTA Online came out, Mike and I, we found all the glitches and we maximized our money. We maximized how much XP we got. We did the simple races, the races around in circles to do everything. Like the story mission alone was good. Single player, just wipe that out, no problem.
It was rock solid, dude.
Oh.
There was not a gap in that story. You were totally immersed in it with every single step along the way. The fact that you're sitting there, you're using your cell phone like you would in fucking real life anyway. You're just like, you're locked in.
I love it. I remember when they announced that you were going to be the mixture of one player, but you had the choice of bouncing around to 3 players.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, how the hell are they going to do this? Like, it didn't make any sense. And I loved how they built all the different characters to have such distinct storylines. Obviously, the 2 of them kind of had a history. And then, the one guy, honestly, everything from the radio stations, and I think the radio stations to me is such a GTA thing. They've done such a great job, hands down. And then as soon as online came out, like being able to get into a tank and just grief the living shit out of every player on the map relentlessly. Just so much fun.
The number of times we broke into the airport, got either the helicopter or the airplane, you're fucking dominating that whole map.
I loved it. And
so fun,
honestly,
so much fun.
And when they introduced the racing component to it,
Oh, that was fun.
you know what? I had to go out and that's when I got the Megalodon card, and I bought like the best card at the time, and I souped that damn thing up. Funny though, when I went from the 360, because I think that was a title that came out on the 360, PS3, and it was that transition game, kind of like what Cyberpunk is to this current gen,
or Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, my game fully transitioned. So it was a while before I brought it to my Xbox One, and I lost all of my cars. I didn't have my cars. I still had all my money and all my property and everything else. And I said, you know what? I don't care. And I just played the living shit out of it. And as guilty as it makes me feel that I would grief other people, I think that was part of the allure. Was you were just like, you would sit there and you'd see the car run by and you'd lock on with the heat seeker, or you'd steal, like John's just said, you'd steal the jet and you just blow up the guy's car that was insured, or you'd steal the car and you'd take off with it and you'd Molotov the garbage out of it before he locked you out of the car.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like, you got dinged. It's like, oh, you had to pay insurance because this guy insured his car and locked you out. And it was just, they had to build in all of these mechanisms that they never thought players were going to do. And they completely underestimated the player base's absolutely need for mayhem and complete dick ass hood. Like, no other game that I know of would people just free for all just be complete assholes 100% of the time.
See, it's the one game where you have that. I loved it later on when they released heists that you go in and so you've got a bunch of your friends together. You're jumping in a helicopter. You're going off into this other space. The number of times that we've had swearing, like just the number, the amount of cursing that would happen when you're just like, all right, we're almost done this fucking heist.
We had only one time that there was 4 of us that made the heist, and it was like that prison escape heist.
Yeah.
We got to the point where we'd finished it, cleared it, and we were escaping, and I think Santino dropped his connection, and it totally bonked everything for everybody, and it killed the game, and I think that was the only
I think I was playing with you
too. We tried to do a heist, and after that I was just like, fucking, this is stupid. And I did all the races.
Great.
Calling you out, Santino. You need to come on to the next week. We're calling you out. GTA 5, you gotta pay. You're pending.
You gotta pay.
John, that was my number 2.
John,
I
number.
agree with you I agree with you on the radio stations. I tried tuning my horse to like the hip hop radio station in Red Dead 2, and it just
didn't
wouldn't
work.
go.
Yeah, it didn't work.
So my number
He
two
just
was
he just
Spider-Man.
started to shit everywhere. Spider-Man.
So my number two is Spider-Man. Nothing really to contribute to the previous conversation that we had about Spider-Man.
No, it's
Other than the
totally
fact that
solid game.
I want to reiterate the point that this game is so much fun to play.
Yep.
Bouncing from building to building. Doesn't matter if you're doing a mission. Doesn't matter if you're trying to find other items. The fact that you can play with all the different costumes, with all the different gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
It just fun
Yeah.
game all around.
Dude,
So
I
much
can't wait for you to finish the game. The ending's fantastic.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. I'll let you know when I'm done.
Hey, Mark.
That's Mark.
Oh shit! Yeah, it is me.
Number 2, sir.
Shovel Knight.
Hey, nice. That
Shovel
that
Knight
was on the
was
tip of my
fantastic.
tongue. That game was on my the list in my mind, I guess you could say.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
It's just such a good old school video game, and they keep adding like characters and modes to it, so it always retains a really good level of difficulty, but all of a sudden you have to learn new skills. So meanwhile, the base Shovel Knight game plays very much like DuckTales almost.
Yeah.
Just
The
the fact
boing
that you have
boing
to
boing. Yeah, yeah.
pogo yourself with your shovel. But then when you're like Plague Knight, you gotta throw like these weird bombs and what was the other knight? Shield Knight, and then there's another knight. Like there's so many different characters that you can just play through the game as. And then depending on what system you have it for, there's like specific bad guys. Like on Xbox One, if you have the digital version, you can fight the Battletoads. And there's actually like
Cool.
one of the levels is you going down the strings, fighting them as
Oh,
you were in like
shit.
level 2 of Battletoads.
That's amazing. I didn't, never. Yeah, I played on PC. There was nothing special about the PC version.
PS4 one, you fought Kratos.
Oh,
So it was nice that they did little things like that.
Yeah.
Like there's little attention to detail.
there's amiibo too.
And
There's
then-
a ton of amiibo for Shovel Knight guys as well.
Yeah, I had the Shovel Knight amiibo, and then the music was just dead
Yeah.
on too. So
Yeah. The
I
one.
got it. It's PS Plus this month, so I finally own a copy.
good. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's such a good game. I will let you know the enemy before the final boss. I think Mark, you probably remember playing that, but it was like, holy shit, dude. That was something else.
I think it was
it's-
harder than the boss.
It was much harder than the boss. It's basically like if you've ever played a Mega Man game in your life, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I won't ruin it for you, but oh my god.
It feels like it was made by Capcom.
Yeah,
Like someone that was
punishing.
a little. There's just a little bit of like a sadistic touch on
Yeah,
there.
it's like, fuck you, you can do this.
Yeah.
For sure, man. For sure.
All right, hit with your number one, Dan.
All right, my number one from the last generation. Keep in mind, this is like, these are all games that just kind of stuck with me for one reason or another. I don't know. I actually picked Horizon Zero Dawn as my number one game.
Nice.
Dude, I was so close to either like my number one or my number two as Horizon Zero Dawn.
It's like absolutely
It's
perfect.
mine.
It's
Yeah,
absolutely perfect. Like there's nothing. There was not a single bad part about that entire game. It was just like my jaw was just open the whole time I was playing the entire game. I was like, this is fucking insane. It's
I just
so
started playing it
fucking
again.
good. It's so good.
I just started playing it again on PS5.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
it's insane.
There's no
like-
upgrade needed. Like honestly, even their DLC, their one DLC, where you're out trudging through the snow, like you move around even on HDR, like the twinkling in the snow. Oh, it was so perfect. Like
So this is my what were you calling them earlier, Richard? The your five
Guilty admission.
Your guilty admission. This is my one guilty admission. I have not played the DLC
It
for
shouldn't
Horizon.
even be a guilty admission. What are you talking about? That you should be proud that this is a good game.
No, I have not. I have not played the DLC for Horizon.
Oh wow, that's fine.
Now
That's
the
okay.
thing is, I played the living shit out of that game for about a month. Beat everything. I did everything in the game you could possibly do. Basically,
Did you buy them?
I did not. There was some of those timed hunter missions. I was just like, this is literally impossible. This is actually impossible. I can't do these. I think that's the only thing left that I had to do in the game was the hunter missions, and I was like, I can't get down this zip line faster than it's asking me to kill these 8 behemoth monsters. I'm like, no, can't do it. This is impossible. That's all I had left to do in the game. I literally explored every inch of the entire map. I did everything else. It was so good. But and then when the DLC came out, it was like, I think, what, a year or something? Like, it was quite a while after the game came out. So I was like, I want to play it so bad, but I'm like, I don't know. There's so many other games. There's so many other games out right now, and I'm done with. Yeah, I'm done with that game. It was absolutely incredible, but I'll wait for the next. Or I just never got around to playing it. But that being said, that game was just insane. The entire time I played it, I had a blast, and that was another one of those games where like I couldn't wait to get home and get downstairs and play it.
Oh, it was PlayStation's version of Zelda, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the combat was so
phenomenal game.
fucking good. The combat was insane. Yeah. The arrows felt so good. And then like I didn't even discover the traps really until like halfway through the game. And then I was like, holy shit, these traps are the best fucking thing ever. I was like, this is a whole new game now. And it's like, I started using the traps and I was like, oh my god, this is phenomenal.
It completely changed how I played the game when I started using the traps.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, there's one of those things that people can use if they want, whatever. And then I think there was a mission where I was like, no, you have to use them. Because it was like a story thing or something. He was like, oh, try the traps, Aloy. I'm like, okay, sure. I was like, holy shit, these are cool. And then I was like, wait, I have a ton of these. This is amazing. And then I started using them like crazy. And yeah, it was so much fun. Oh, fuck. So good.
I haven't finished the game. I think I'm maybe like 5 hours in.
You know what? I think it's one of those games that you're either going to love it or you're going to find it mediocre.
Oh, I do love it. I'm terrible at finishing video games.
You don't love it, Richard.
wow.
You hate it.
This is gonna hook you after like the 10-hour mark.
It hooked
And
me
you're
after
not-
the 10-second
Oh.
mark.
That's it. I'm at 9.5 hours, so that's probably what happened.
It hooked me instantly. As soon as I started playing with young Aloy, I was like, okay, I want this. This is good. I like it.
So okay, like when she puts on the chip and she starts seeing all the other pieces, I'm just like, this is pretty awesome, right? Like you're experiencing this game.
So good.
It wasn't until she got a little bit more mature and got all the other actions where I was like, okay, this is actually a character that I can take full control of
Sure.
and just dominate this game with, right? That's when it actually opened up for me.
Fuck,
So
now I
speaking
wanna
of
play it again.
dominating this game, let me tell you about my number one.
Yep.
Okay.
Left 4 Dead 2.
This is where I
Wait a
invested
minute.
my hours of my life before children. So I have two guilty admissions. On
Deep
this
Rock
game.
Galactic. Sorry, I'm gonna stop spitting out game names.
So the first guilty admission is that I also never played the I guess the prequels to this game.
Oh.
Oh, which one is this? Yep.
And the second guilty admission is that I play this game on PC.
That's fine.
Oh.
That's not a
So-
guilty admission. Who cares?
Well, it is a little bit because the way I played this game, I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much without the mods that I played this game with.
Ah, it's Witcher 3.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I had to. Sorry, I was like, I knew it. As soon as you said mods and PC, and I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. I was like, it has to be Witcher 3.
But
I know
we've already talked a little bit about it.
What you're talking about though. So
Here's the thing.
played Witcher 3 on PC. The mods made all the difference because I played a bit of it on console, and I was like, why don't I have this mod? Why don't I have this mod? And it's like,
Yeah.
shit.
Honestly, and I mean, God, I'm not a religious person, but God bless CG Project Red. Like with all my heart, they did the best job they could have ever done with this video game. It is. I've spent over 100 hours on this video game across all the DLC. It has some of the best stories and video game moments that I'll take with me forever. But fuck, do I not want to apply oil to the fucking blade before I see the fucking thing? No, you know what? I want the mod to do it. I have the oil. I'll find the oil. I'll make the oil. You apply the oil. It's okay. I'm going to assume that he's going to be prepared enough that he can prepare the oil and apply it to the blade before I see the monster.
You don't want to you don't want to micromanage your inventory.
I want to micromanage my Geralt. Okay, so. But like the thing I came to this game for, and the thing it delivered on, was the story. And if you look at, let's call it 3 out of these 5 games for me, these are all story driven games, right? Like there are some side quests. Actually, even the 2 DLC quests here, Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine. I mean, these could be standalone video games, and they would be some of the best video games of all time, story-wise. I don't know if anyone has played. I'm getting a lot of blank stares.
Well,
Witcher's
Witcher's my number 1 as well.
Okay, great, good. Let's do this. Let's fucking have a Witcher love fest. This is great.
The thing with Witcher is like every single story, even if it's a side quest, is incredible. It's incredible.
The side quests I found more interesting than the main quest.
Yeah, so
Like the demon fetus, the demon fetus. Come on.
There were a lot of side quests that were like they add additional richness to the overall experience or the story, but the main story, where you're seeing all of the sub stories that make up the overall arching, it is fantastic, man. Fantastic.
So, how did you feel about Henry Cavill as The Witcher in the Netflix series then?
I thought he was
good.
I thought he was good.
Hey, come on now. That's a whole other topic. Come on.
It did take me a little while to kind of get beyond the visual fidelity of it.
Come on, he's Superman.
He's not. But
that initial trailer, that initial teaser or whatever, where he like walked out. And he's like, I'm Geralt. It was like, ugh, what the fuck is this? And then you actually see him like all dirty, like in the show, doing shit. I was like, okay, that's pretty fucking. That's pretty good.
It could have gone really wrong, and they did a good job.
It could have been a lot. It
this
could have
is
been really
a different Geralt. Right?
Sorry, yeah. It's definitely different.
I love The Witcher so much that I read the short stories and I read like the novels and stuff like. That's a different Geralt than the Geralt you get.
I bought the fucking book for Mike. That's how much I love this.
Yeah. I mean, the stories are fine, right? They're written by a Polish dude, and it reads like a book written by a Polish dude. But like, they're okay. Those aside, and like all this, the TV show and everything aside, this piece of media hooked me. Like, I had what did I have? I don't even remember what I had. I had a 770, maybe a 760. I had a 760. In my PC. I came back from a vacation. I got this video game in May of whatever it was, 2015. I was like, this will not stand. I went out and bought a 970. It was the first time I'd gone up a tier in terms of my video cards. And just mind blown, right? Like the way this game looked, the way it played, the weather effects. And yes, I'd played Red Dead. I'd played games with great weather and visuals and so on. But everything just combined into this incredible sense of place for this game.
It felt natural.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I didn't include it in my top 5 is because I never beat it, and I played maybe 15 hours or so of it. I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely an incredible game, but I can't include it in my top 5 because it was like
that game too, like. Yeah. You have to play with the expansions. Those expansions, the stories,
the Blood and Wine or whatever, like they're
Blood and Wine and Heart and Soul.
The Heart of Stone one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh,
so good. It's so good.
It's fantastic.
It's so good. I want to play it right now. I might do that.
Oh, I can't wait till they do the enhancements because
Yes,
I have a
exactly. So
I
I'm
have
holding
a-
off
yeah.
right now. So I played it on PC, so my save profile is completely gone, and I've just started over again on the Xbox, and I'm looking forward to it. I think visuals have dated a little bit. I mean, for the most part, it's pretty good, and the control schemes on the Xbox seem more geared towards a PC user. Like they're really twitchy, they're really fast, they're not as smooth. They don't have any sort of easing on the controls to kind of move you. Like when you move your
Oh, really?
joystick, it like your panning is like holy crap! Like
It's like
you're
a
all over the
mouse.
place.
It's like you're using a mouse or something. Yeah.
Yeah, really, it is.
You have to play this on like a console to get the better experience. When I played it on PC, I was like, this is way too jittery. It's way too janky, like for me to actually get and appreciate what the experience is supposed to be here. On PC, it's a little bit of slower pace. I could actually experience what the environment is like. I could take full breath of what the story is going to be. Much better. Much better.
I think, Nick, if you were to load your save file onto GOG, I'm pretty sure it's cross save with.
Really.
Like
Yeah.
cross-platform,
Mine
cross-platform.
Mine was a
Well, it's cross platform.
pirated edition, so I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no doubt Then, yeah.
Yeah.
Arr.
Ooh.
Arr.
Nick, what's your number one?
Yeah, Nick,
All right, Dan. You know what? You hit it. Horizon Zero.
Yeah, baby.
And I will say this. That is the only game I have ever played. Doesn't matter what platform or what year or what generation. It is the only game that I have ever platinumed 100% on. I went out of my way from the very beginning. At the minute I booted that game on, I had the biggest heart on for this game. It spoke to me on so many different levels. The gameplay, the ability to take over the horses, to use
To
them
hack
as
them,
your
yeah.
the mixture of verticality, weapon usage, modding. I think my only complaint in this game to this day is still the limitation of weaponry that you're given. They give you these tiers of weapons that you can upgrade and utilize, but it's so easy to get the best weapon, the best bow, the best arrows so early on that it almost made using these other bows and arrows really kind of inferior. And that was fine. I unlocked everything. I got to the end of the game. I knew I was at the end of the game. I went back and I cleared everything. I traversed maps, and they did such a good job. I watched the documentary on how this game was made and how they
same
made
here.
the game so incredibly visual that when you're moving, they have an algorithm that's predicting which way you're going to look, so it loads that segment of the map and
That
nothing
was-
else. So that
yeah.
way
That was cool.
they load all of the detail. There's no whatever that term is for pop in. Right. There's no
Yeah.
pop in. There's nothing.
Level of
And
detail, yeah.
What I was really curious about is, you know that other mode where you can switch in and you can see the paths that the creatures are taking?
Yeah.
I was curious if they load, here's what you see normally, and as well as what you see with your cybernetic enhancement. I'm like, I think they load both of them, so it's just, there's no pop-in, there's no, it's a seamless experience, right?
It was
Like
it was the
crawling up
first.
that-
Oh, sorry, Nick. It was just going further
Oh,
with what you were saying. Like it was the first game I think that I ever saw with a 3D overworld map.
Yeah.
Like a fully.
It-
I think it was actually one of the first games that had a fully 3D overworld map where, like, when you were panning around, it was like, no, that's the fucking world. Like, you can see clouds and shit float. Like, that's where you are right now.
It had an isometric kind of style view when you went, but when you moved over, everything tilt shifted.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. Oh, it was so good. The cutscenes, the story, like the aspect of technology failing, Gaia, like without ruling for anybody who hasn't watched it or played it, so good. Going back and getting the best armor, the best, the technology, the upgrades. Even the end story, just leading to so many more questions about, like the fall of man and how technology kind of moved. And for anybody who knows me, I have a hard on for like the Dune series, and I've read 15 of the Dune books sequentially all the way through since the beginning of the year. I own them all. I'm a big Asimov fan. So, I mean, like, this is like massive fan service about the mixture of old school technology, what happens when the fall of man happens, and what happens when AI takes over.
Yeah.
It melded everything. And I played the DLC, 100% of the DLC. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't 100% the DLC because at that point I was just like, you know what? I wanted to play it for the story, not for the additional platinum it was going to give me.
Yeah.
But
Has anyone? Oh, sorry.
oh, that's right.
Has anyone tried it on the PC? Because they released it just recently.
Yeah.
I heard it was glitchy.
Yeah, I heard
Was it?
I heard very, very mixed things. Like it was not great.
I'm replaying on PS5 just because I want to experience the whole thing in a higher fidelity kind of environment, right?
Yeah, if they have a fully PS5 updated version that comes out, then I might try that.
For a game that came out 3 years ago, honestly, it was breathtaking. Fighting the Tyrannosaurus Rex for the
Oh
first
my
time,
God.
blowing off its weapons and using
The
its
armor,
weapons.
blasting off pieces of armor and then
Oh.
shooting the glowing
Ah,
bell, or
or
the one with the
exactly.
one with the thing on the back, the big canister of goo on the
Currents-
back. And
currents,
oh my
yeah.
God.
Do I need to
Sorry.
play this next between now and Cyberpunk?
Probably.
Richard, it's so
Then
fucking good.
15 days that you'll get to play it, yeah,
Oh.
you'll drool all over yourself at how awesome this game is.
The combat is probably
Yeah, but
the
then I
best
can't-
combat in any game I've played, I think, ever, to be quite honest.
What about Ghost of Tsushima? Then I gotta leave behind.
No,
Ghost.
Horizons.
different. It's a different game.
Yeah.
It is just a different
Yeah,
game.
but I have the same amount of time.
No,
Yeah, but you seem to be
Ghosts,
confused. Eh?
because we all playing Ghosts. We gotta get to the raid of Ghosts.
All right, enough. John.
So I'll leave
Oh
with
wait,
my
sorry.
last point.
Yeah, go next. Sorry.
Sorry. I remember this one scene where I was basically crawling up this ice mountain. I had killed all the bots and everything else, and they were like the flying, pteranodon type of things. And it was just like the remnants of the war machines and the long arms. It's like if you were to imagine Doc Ock as this giant,
I remember that. Yeah, scaling them.
massive machine, and just the sheer scale of the modeling that was necessary to make this thing.
Yeah.
And a part of me was just like, I would love nothing more than to see a cutscene of this machine wreaking havoc on just everything. Like it made me want to go, what were they thinking when they made this game, and what was their inspiration? Because it was just, anyways.
And then
that
you
is the
scale it,
only
and then you
game-
scale it, and then you're like climbing
Yeah.
through. I'm like, holy shit! I'm actually gonna go up there. Like this is insane.
So when people say when I didn't buy a PS5, it's because that game hasn't come out yet. The sequel.
yeah.
When that game comes out, I will go out of my way and I will buy the console purely for that game.
Oh yeah.
Cool. That's neat.
My number one, Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow.
Interesting.
It's my number one because number one, I'm a Star Wars fanboy, so I love being immersed in anything that's related to Star Wars. Whether it's The Mandalorian, which I get to watch, or other Star Wars games that I get to play. So like Battlefield was like a really fun time for me. Meanwhile, Star Wars Fallen Order, yeah, I totally jumped on this, latched on this. Like you, Dan, this is one of those games that I could not put down.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pick it up every day to play it just so that I could feel immersed in this environment. So it takes place 5 years after the Clone Wars, and so it's like the same timeline as if you watch the movie series as Solo, and so you're in that little bit of nostalgia before New Hope happens, and it just rushes you back into that kind of state. And then seeing like Cal with BD1, you're like, there's these two new characters. What are their roles in this environment? I'm sucked in. Then you get introduced to, well, this is why we're here. We've been introduced to, well, this is the Cepho, this is that lost civilization that actually is Force sensitive. We're actually thinking that the Force actually the origins or the roots of it came from this civilization. We now know that there's this group of Force children that could be used to recreate the new Jedi Order that's going to be out there. And so that's like your introduction to what the plot is going to be. And I'm just like, I'm in. I'm done. I'm in.
Yeah, give
Like,
me
I'm plugged in, I'm ready to go.
force feed me.
Yeah, it's,
Exactly, man.
but it was the environments, right? Like it's got the lore, fine. It's it's got some of the
Yep.
characters. You don't really know them very much at the start, but the environments are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like
Phenomenal.
Dathomir. So I was an idiot and I went to Dathomir first. And I ended up getting a good thing out of that, but I was a fucking idiot. Like I went the wrong way essentially in a Metroidvania style, right? Like
Yep.
I went the way that they're just like, we're just gonna murder you over and over again until you get dissuaded and go the way that we want you to go, even though technically it's open. So I was persistent and a jerk. And I kept going, but the environment there, and I went to like 2 or 3 planets after that. Like I got BD, and I went to another planet. And now I'm on Kashyyyk, so I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
But even Kashyyyk is just phenomenal. The sense of scale and what they've built out of these levels is just incredible.
Yeah, the number one memory that I have from that game is I'm sitting in the locker and I'm going.
Yeah.
And then Forrest Whitaker's character jumps out from the Rogue One, and I'm just sitting there going, "He's fucking there! I'm blasting the shit out of the Empire. Let's go!" Right?
Yeah.
Again, Star Wars fanboy. I love this goddamn game. So the other pieces of it, like when you would do your meditation and you'd see the force ability tree that would come up, and you're like, "All right, I can spend this much experience in this force ability, this one, and it just builds on the overall experience that you get through that. And I don't know what it is. Like, I guess since it's part of my childhood and it's been nostalgia, but being able to like run in that headspace or run in that environment just adds to the overall enjoyment that I have of this game. I think that's why it's my number one, is because it hits home on a bunch of different layers. Like, you've got that nostalgia factor. You've got that new flashy flavor of a new game that's immersing you in a new character.
The flashy flavor, I like it.
That's the name of the episode right there. That new flashy flavor.
I really like that. I'm gonna use
John, can you change your username to Flashy Flavor?
Flashy flavor. That's it. Done.
Pop, flashy flavor. Pop.
So the fact that it's on PC, the fact that it's on PlayStation 4, just means that you've got that exposure to multiple audiences, so it makes it even better.
Dude, I'm just happy that EA released something that's not fucking Battlefront 1 or 2, which were actually okay games, but like.
But they did Squadrons as well, which was pretty good, right?
Yeah, but at the time, I'm just saying, at the time, Squadrons was like a blink in someone's eye.
This was my hope. What Jedi, I think it was 1313, was going to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So,
Forget about that.
They canceled that.
Yeah.
They canceled that game, and I was like, I was expecting like a darker version of Star Wars here, and then they released this one, Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm like, okay, this isn't as dark as I thought it would be. It's still got that family-friendly kind of gameplay,
whimsical,
but you're still immersed in some of the darker aspects that you want out of this game.
Yeah.
So, very much my number one, man.
Nice.
I would love to see Naughty Dog or a Guerrilla or somebody other than EA create a Star Wars. It really sucks that EA has a license for this game, and I wish they would fuck up some more, and Star Wars Disney would say, you know what, we're done with you.
Yeah.
Because they came really close the last couple of times.
Yep.
And I wish that somebody else with better storytelling capability.
Anything was supposed to do a fucking Star Wars game.
So
well, they shouldn't lock it to a developer. They should be like, hey, Ubisoft, give us a try. Do an open world.
Hold on, folks.
They did before.
This is their saving grace. EA actually developed a game that's in the Star Wars universe that actually has.
Respawn did it, right? This is Respawn who did it. What I'm saying is, Amy Hennig, the head writer of Naughty Dog, went to EA to do a Star Wars game and then got shit canned.
Yep.
Right? Like they had it in their fucking hands and then they lost it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Nick. Like I mean, they had the person, they didn't have the team, they didn't have the Naughty Dog.
Well,
had-
they shouldn't
they
lock
had
it to
different
any
They
publisher.
had one of the key components of it,
Yeah.
and they blew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had different developers before. There's Ubisoft has made old games for them.
Yeah.
Other companies like, why tether it just to EA? It's stupid.
I know.
So
it's dumb.
imagine a No
money.
Man's
Well, it's
Sky
money. EA
version
obviously
of
paid for the
Mandalorian.
license.
Yep, that'd be cool.
Dude, that would be so amazing if they had a Bounty Hunter Wars game series that actually came out. That would be like, it would blow my mind.
That
So
would
the-
be awesome, like a Clone Wars battle royale style.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many
They could
different
do anything.
stories.
They could do fucking
extended
anything.
Universe, the canon.
So
there's-
2D roguelike. They could make a Star
Like-
Wars game out of that. I don't give a shit. I'll play any of it.
So the
Pod racing.
closest game,
Pod
Yeah,
racing
fucking
for
pod
games that
racing.
they have.
Yeah.
So EA created like a Star Wars Order of the Old Republic, right? There's that multi MMO, right? That they could actually lift and shift and turn into a battle royale that's just bounty hunters. Right?
Oh,
You could go to town because they have that whole hunter class that they could put into this thing and just make it that. It's amazing, man. They got so much they could do. They're just wasting their time.
Mm.
All right, Mark, over to you.
Well,
After
mine
all that
was the same.
nonsense, yeah.
For mine was Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah.
But we already
we
went
did.
through everything, so we can't do too
Hey,
much.
more nice things about Witcher 3.
I don't know. Can we do some honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so
well-
let's go back to The Witcher 3. Richard, you had mods that you installed, and the last game that I did mods through Nexus would have been for Skyrim. So what mods would you have run with this game, other than the self-automating oiling?
That was honestly that was a huge one. Trying to think if I had an encumbrance, like an unencumbrance mod, I might have turned off encumbrance in this game. I typically do that in like Fallout 4. I did that as well.
Yeah.
That was the main one that I can think of. I'd have to go back and take a look and see if I have like a
No visual enhancements. No.
No.
There is a lot of those though for it. So like
There
there's
are a
HDR and
Yeah.
a few HD like extra HD packs
So-
and stuff. But
So one of the weapon. So this was kind of towards just before I think Heart of Stone came out. One of the lead weapon designers came out with a mod, and it was like a total overhaul on the combat system. I didn't put that one in, but that was one that a lot of people were like, okay, now I'm feeling this combat system. So I don't know if that one ended up making its way into the main line of the game, since I mean he works for the company, or if that one just stayed as a mod. But that would be an example of like other things that I would have tweaked as well. I was fine with the combat system. Like it was very Knights of the Old Republic-y for me, and I totally dig that style. Like I'm not slicing and eviscerating people in Knights of the Old Republic the way that you are in Witcher 3, but it was a combat system that I got used to, but it wasn't the main attraction. And if there were some mods there, I might have added some stuff.
I'm actually copy and pasting some mods into the PC section of our Discord.
Hey, nice.
If you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, the autoplay oils is the big one. I did have high quality faces on as well.
Yeah.
Are we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
started
So,
with-
hey guys. So let's just.
Are we doing round table for honorable mentions?
Yeah.
or-
So let's just do a quick round. We don't have to go. Pardon me. We don't have to go into as much detail as we were before, but
Yeah.
I'll start really quickly. I just like a few games that I just wanted to include for whatever reason. Stardew Valley.
Okay.
It was available on every goddamn platform, and I played it so goddamn much.
Yeah, I did. Too.
I just had to include it. Far Cry 5 because
Yep.
it's the best Far Cry next to number 3 that I think I've ever played, and it was my favorite game of 2018, I think.
Wow.
And then the only other one was Yoku's Island Express, which
That was the one
if you have not played Yoku's Island Express,
No idea what it's about.
it's a fucking Metroidvania pinball game. And
I-
Get out of here.
It's
Alright,
fucking amazing. It's such a fucking good game. and it's short. You can beat it in about 6 or 7 hours. The art style is incredible. It's the most bizarre premise for a game, but it's like to traverse around the map. You literally use ping pong paddles to shoot a ball, and you're like a little crab
It looks
that's
like
attached
Rayman.
to the ball. It's amazing. It's incredible.
It looks like Rayman.
Yeah, it's
Rayman.
good. It's such a good game. Anyways, those are my 3. I just had to shoehorn those in there because like they're all exceptionally good games, but like
So
for whatever reason, yeah.
the only thing that we haven't mentioned yet that's on my honorable mentions is God of War.
That's on mine.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a weird
on
one.
mine.
That's a weird one. It was. This is just for me. I just have to get this out there. It's a great game. It's a fantastic game. But like, I was glad when I was finished the game. I was like, okay, I'm done. Thankfully, and then I quickly moved on to something else.
No, I felt really immersed in that game. Sorry, go ahead, Richard.
In one shot. That's all I want to say. From a technical achievement, from like a cinematography perspective,
Yeah.
like doing a movie in one shot, doing a video game in one shot, they did it in one shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
There's
That-
really
that-
no cuts.
No guts.
Yeah.
Even when you're using Jotunheim to move around, right? Like
shot.
it feels like it's supposed to be seamless that way, right?
Yeah.
It was smart. Actually, Christy's playing it right now as we speak on the PS5.
Nice.
Do they have an enhancement for PS5? I gotta get
Not
that.
really, but it looks a little nicer. Like it's a little bit more smooth and.
Okay.
But everything else
Load
is-
times are probably quicker. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Oh, there's not really any.
Oh yeah, there aren't any really, are there? The
Anyone-
load times are caked into that game, right? They're like.
Yep.
They're hit.
Yeah, they are. So, Dan, you did your honorable mentions. Rich, did you yours?
No, it was the only other one that I
God
had
of
on my
War.
list.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. Oh shit.
Nick?
Going to platformer, Owlboy. I know it's on like a Steam
Owlboy.
game. I love platformers. I love pixel
Dude,
platformers.
same here.
Cloud. I can't remember the name now, but there was another one on Steam that was really good that I really enjoyed. And the other one, and again, this is like a guilty pleasure. Ratchet and Clank on the PS4 Pro.
Yes.
Those are just the games that you never think about as being like a good AAA style game, but when
They
you
aren't.
play those games, you can't put them down. They do such a great job with
Love all the guns,
getting
man.
you in there, destroying stuff, wanting to hunt for like the cogs, the coins, the special items to level up everything. And the cinematography they've done with the character, like how would they have not made a movie out of this stupid wombat?
They
Blows
have.
my goddamn mind.
They made a Ratchet and Clank movie. It sucks.
They did?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So the game.
is actually
Yeah. Sorry.
based off the movie.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay,
all-
well, I'm
all-
glad I
all-
haven't watched it.
The the movie was based off the game or vice versa or whatever. But all the cutscenes, like the CG cutscenes in the game, are straight from the movie.
But the game did a better job of having everything together.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's so weird. I was like, Ratchet and
And-
Clank movie. I can't wait to go see that with the kids.
Yeah.
And then I see the reviews. Like, it's shit. I'm like, oh damn
And
it.
it also scrapped the Sly Cooper movie that was supposed to come out from the same studio.
Oh,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
would have
yeah.
been so good too. I love Sly Cooper.
And I'll only mention this because I know it did come out for the last generation console, but Elite Dangerous. I've been playing this as a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I have got at least
Free on Epic
2,000
Game Store right now.
hours. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I've got like 2,000 hours into this game last gen. It
That's
is honestly just you want good flight simulation. This is it.
Dude, you've been playing that game for as long as I've...
Been
as long as it's
alive.
been out, you've been playing this.
Like I said, Kickstarter, right? So
That's Dead Souls or Dead Cells for me. I bought it as the pre-order or like whatever you could buy before it actually went to market, and then
Yeah,
I've been playing it ever since. So honorable mentions for me. We've already talked about Far Cry 5. We've already talked about God of War. Ghost of Tsushima is the other honorable mention because we've been playing it so much, and I've really been enjoying this game. I swear to God, I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I only have to do the other island now because I've done all of like the main tales that you have to do. I mean,
so like
I'm loving it.
105
I'm
so
loving
we
it.
can do
I'm
like a
loving
nightmare level.
well, we gotta play tonight or like on Thursday or like over the weekend or something, and then and I'll be 105 key. Then we gotta get Dan to 105 key, and then we'll be good to go.
yeah.
What are
Get
you
there
at now?
eventually.
Like we just started silver
What
with
level
you.
is you?
32 or something in like one night.
Yeah, see,
Pretty quickly.
32 in one night. So we'll be able to get you to like where we are within a couple more nights, and then we'll be doing Nightmare in no time.
That's right.
Just want to do the raid. That's it.
Mark. Mark.
So
Oh, sorry.
There-
John.
before we go, wait, there is a trophy for going through all of the different. So finishing your last round on gold, and then going through all the different raids. So I'm
okay.
looking forward to those. Man.
And one nightmare level.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry, Mark.
Oh, fuck. I think my list of honorable mentions is bigger. I'm not gonna do all of them though.
Oh, whatever, man.
I'll just spout them off, and then you can talk about whatever. Rogue Legacy, if you haven't played that
Oh,
one, it's
dude.
really
Really good.
Super good roguelike. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure what that is, man.
Oh,
Side
really?
scrolling
never-
2D roguelike. It's super good.
Yeah, but you're like
It's really fun.
inherited powers thing that happens.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All
When
right,
your
Awesome
character
game.
dies, you pick their offspring, and then they have different abilities, and you pick
Yeah.
one of the 3 offspring. And
Yeah.
there's
Okay,
weird abilities too. So
This sounds like something that I gotta play
yes.
Yes.
over like the Christmas holiday. Right, done.
And they
Really
just are about to release the second one. It's on a beta early access on Steam.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, done.
Streets of Rage 4, even though Dan and I had a hard time messing.
Okay.
You mean
you're not the
impossible?
only
You
one.
mean yeah,
You're not
John?
the only one.
Yeah, you mean
So
impossible?
Dan and I tried to
time.
do this together, and the fucking Streets of Rage 4 multiplayer does not happen. You have to be coach co-op for this actually to happen.
Well, I've played with other people online
Yeah,
through their service, but once you try to play with a
strangers.
friend,
Yeah, strangers. It's like
It's like, nope, not gonna
No.
happen. It's like,
Who played together with me then? It was me and you, Nick. Who played this with me?
No, it wasn't me.
With me, you and me, John. The two of us played Streets of Rage together. Well, I've played Streets of Rage with somebody I know, and I only know you guys who own this game.
it was a stranger, Richard.
It wasn't.
I think it was a stranger. Stranger danger all over that.
I have it on my TMNT modded cabinet, but
Street Rage 4.
it's not network connected.
Oh.
Yeah.
Streets 4.
nice.
You do?
So, like, why don't you try and play later?
What else do you have? What else do you have on there, Mark?
Oh, Battle Princess Madeline.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
I am in the game
Oh,
Are
very
you?
cool.
because I kickstarted it.
Yeah.
And I knew
Oh, cool.
I knew the developers.
I remember
So
that. Yeah, I
you're
remember
actually
that.
a character inside the game?
Yeah, he looks like me.
Yeah.
No way, dude. That's so cool.
It's in like the most deserted part of the entire game, and then it's just me.
I remember all of that. I remember hearing all about that
Um,
game like during the whole process. It was such a cool idea, though.
And they just released an arcade version of it called Super Princess Battle Madeline.
Oh wow,
Neat.
super cool.
Nice.
And then Battle Chasers of Night War, which is a really good RPG. No one, I
yeah.
think, played. And then Sunset Overdrive.
Oh,
Nice.
Sunset Overdrive.
That
is
was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic launch title. It was done by Insomniac on an
Yeah.
Xbox, like Microsoft platform.
it was
So
so
that
it was
itself
so
is weird.
colorful. It was so colorful
Yeah.
that fucking game. Jesus,
It was
Like,
fantastic.
everything
It
popped.
was
I
great.
remember that was the first game I ever streamed on anything was Sunset Overdrive.
It's so much fun. It doesn't take itself seriously, which is the best
No.
part about that game.
You have to grind the shit out of everything too, or else you're dead immediately.
Yep.
That's the only thing I remember. It was like, you have to keep moving or you'll die. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I get it now.
And
It's,
then
it's $5 right now, just in case anyone's curious.
or it's on Game Pass.
yeah, or it's
Exactly.
on Game Pass.
I'm surprised none of us said Breath of the Wild.
You know what I was going to say? There was no Nintendo titles in any of this.
I was tempted to put on like Paper Mario, or I was tempted to put on one of the Zelda games, but I was like, they weren't up there in like the top 5. They're in my top 10, sure, but like top 5, no.
Yep. No.
I these because all of the Zelda games, it's not like I was like hungering to get to them every day, whereas like, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm in
I
there.
mean, the exercise was to find the PS4 or Xbox One games, so I'm happy there were no Nintendo games on this list.
That's
thought it was-
incredible. That's incredible that 3 of the 5 of us were like, oh, Switch is included, and there was still no Nintendo games.
Did you think Switch was included and then not include Breath of the Wild?
That's
I
amazing.
thought it was just any game from the past, like
No.
2009.
No, we're talking
2019
we're talking PS4, Xbox One only.
Oh,
That's
fair enough.
that's incredible. That like not a single Switch game was included.
Wow.
Wow.
This would have been a much different podcast had.
Yeah, I picked Breath of the Wild. It's like, oops.
Oh,
So
yeah.
okay, we still have the best of 2020, the best of like Xbox, PS4.
Oh, best
and
of anything.
Switch
Fucking
that's coming
best
up.
of anything. Mobile, it can be. I don't give a shit what platform it's on. Best game
So,
released in 2020. Like, we'll be doing
I
that.
would-
We'll be
I
doing that in
wouldn't
a few
say
weeks.
Best game released in 2020. I would say across these platforms, what's the best game for each system for 2020?
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. And yeah, you know what we'll do? Yeah, we should do that. We should do best game for each platform and then best just favorite game overall kind of thing.
There you go, man.
We'll do that. We'll do that as
Okay.
close to the end of the year as we can because I want Cyberpunk to be out at
Yeah.
least for like a couple weeks before we do that.
Well, we can do it in January.
We got what 15 days? 15 days, so Cyberpunk's out, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I
don't mind doing a best of-
latest one.
Yeah, I don't mind doing a best of thing like early in the year. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, that would be the way to go.
They did a PS4, PS5 Cyberpunk gameplay kind of thing, and they did it right from the beginning. And they at least clarified that it was a number of hours in before one person actually did gameplay, like gunplay. Like he had
Oh,
done
yeah.
stealth and everything else. And he said that the videos don't do it justice, but at the same time, the game is a lot slower than you think it's going to be, which
Yeah,
puts it in the mind of it's not really like The Witcher, or maybe it's more like The Witcher, where
It's an RPG. It's an
Totally.
RPG. It's not a
Totally.
first-person
yeah,
shooter.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
It's
I'm
100%
really
an
excited
RPG.
because it blends all the fun things that I liked at Borderlands, where when
Yeah.
you're shooting a guy, you get all the damage counters pop up and stuff like that. And
Yeah, it's not
I'm
like
and
expecting
honestly,
it to
so
be
good.
more like Witcher than I am like Zelda.
Yep.
That's what I'm expecting it to be.
Yeah.
Like whereas, yeah, like if it was all action all the time, I don't know if this is exactly what I'd be expecting. No, I'm expecting an RPG from Cyberpunk. If it was all action all the time, I think I would get bored pretty quickly because like I've already got Call of Duty for that.
Yeah, ironically, yeah, you're right. It's like if it's too much action, I was like, no, I'll get tired of the sameness of it.
There's
Like
no way.
storytelling and RPG
Right.
components, that's what keeps you interested in the atmosphere
man.
and all that
ways
stuff.
that you're
It's
going
like-
to be able to complete some of these missions will
Yeah.
probably be off the rocker. That people will be like,
Oh yeah.
you know, that first mission, did you even think about doing it this way? And people will be
Like,
like,
what? You could do that? Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus like, all right, I've got a Destiny where I'm like going through and I'm just shooting the shit out of everything, or I'm got a Call of Duty where I'm blasting out everything everything that's my face,
Yeah.
grenade, shoot. Yeah, like that's
But
all
that's-
those missions are like over and over again.
But that's Doom, right?
Yeah.
And Doom is very much at that manic pace
Oh,
Yeah.
where
That's what you want to
there's
play that.
Yeah.
So they do a nice pacing with Doom where it's like I got to panic and shoot the shit out of everything, and then I got to solve a puzzle, and then I solve another puzzle, and then it's like, all right, shit, I've got like an all out guns a blazing, balls to the wall kind of action, and then right maybe I got 3 puzzles to solve this time. I'm expecting Cyberpunk to be like a much slower pace between action and dialogue and puzzle.
the world building, the character building, the
Yeah.
aspects of RPG are
Oh, I
really
can't- yeah, I
heavily
can't wait.
influenced. And even just the character building, like I watched a segment on that, and I was just like, I'm gonna lose an hour. Forget about playing the game. I'm gonna lose an hour kind of going building my own character.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Right? Like,
oh yeah.
So I'm
The
looking at like
customization. I was like, I didn't even think of that at the
modifications.
beginning. Yeah.
I'm looking at character modifications. I'm looking at how you're going to build like a party, or like the different relationships that you're going to have there, the different ways that you're going to be doing your dialogue with all these people, whether it's going to be like face-to-face dialogue, or if you're looking at message dialogue, it's going to happen through. Well, I'm very excited about what's going to happen on it.
On that note, I think we need to cut this 2-hour plus stream short. Quite a bit to talk about. We will be back next Tuesday, December 1st. December. Ooh.
Holy crap!
Black
Christmas
Friday.
is around the corner, man.
Elf on the
I know,
Shelf.
we
Elf
got-
on the Shelf is showing up for all those people that have kids. Anyway, great. Anyways, yes, we'll we'll talk next week. Yeah. Did you like our picks? Did you hate them? I think they're.
And what
I thought they
picks
were all good. I thought
are
they were all
missing?
good.
I would say, what picks are missing that you would add to that list?
Mm.
That's true. That's a good point. Laters.